Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the kind of sequels discussion of this Star Wars watch through, where we are going to be talking about, in this particular video, The Force Awakens, Rogue One, and then The Last Jedi. So I guess the next three chronologically released films to come out. And I have seen them. I've seen them many times, these movies. And I am joined by Kyle Entertainment, who has not seen two of them. I don't know, one of them. Kyle, give your backstory, I guess, on this.
EliteAri. Star Wars is fucking dead!
Why?
Isn't it a tragedy?
Why? What happened?
Because these movies were so bad, EliteAri. That's the opening joke.
Mhm.
Now, before we get into all that stuff, was that just a joke? Was it not? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, I've only seen two of these three movies. I've not seen The Last Jedi before. The other two are rewatches. If you were paying attention to my great Twitter thread list, what we call those, media checklists, EliteAri, you would know that because they have rewatch next to them.
Mhm.
Embarrassing. As you remember the famous story, EliteAri, I saw shitty Star Wars Rogue One and I said, no more! And then I stuck to my guns, EliteAri.
Yep. And you never watched a
Now,
single
speaking of
movie
tweets,
again.
EliteAri, yes. Now, speaking of tweets, EliteAri, I'm sitting here. No, I made some great tweets to build anticipation for this great review, EliteAri. After I finished Star Wars The Force Awakens, I tweeted out, and I quote, actually, I don't have the quote up. I tweeted out, there is a definitive best Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
And then after Rogue One, I tweeted out, there's a definitive worst Star Wars movie. And I
Okay.
just let the audience ponder there about what was going on. Was I being serious? Was I being funny? Is Star Wars dead? Like I just said in that funny tone. And then I also got this has nothing to do with this really, but I got a very famous tweet where I said all of space and time has led up to this. And it was me hovering over the Disney Plus watching The Last Jedi thing. That got like 5 likes.
Well done.
The people, they're dying to know.
Yeah, and so am I. I'm dying to know. What did you think about these movies?
Oh, another thing. I got two more things to bring up. EliteAri's a little pussy because, I'm looking on the great letterbox.com. I scroll down for the Star Wars The Force Awakens and EliteAri, 5 stars. My goodness. Did you rate that today?
No, I haven't changed anything.
Oh, well, I didn't see that one. But then the Rogue One, I saw it was 4 stars. And then I go to The Last Jedi, no rating. So how am I supposed to know what EliteAri thinks about this? I remember, no rating. Unless there's too many. No, you just got no rating.
There's
Now,
no
don't
way
check
I don't have a
Letterboxd,
no
EliteAri,
rating.
because you'll see mine. Don't check it, EliteAri.
I know
You're
for
gonna
a fact
spoil
I have a
yourself.
rating. I'm not going to look it up, but I have a rating for
Well,
The
you're
Last
going to
Jedi.
check it after I reveal my ratings, and you're going to find out that you're an idiot and there's no rating on here.
Mhm.
Now, it's possible there's just too many ratings that you would be on the second layer, but on the end here, I have somebody planning to watch Star Wars, which means you should be before them with a rating.
Mhm.
But you're not even on the watched section. You haven't even seen this movie, you lying piece of shit.
Mhm.
And my last thing before we actually talk about Star Wars is that we all need to bow our heads in apology, EliteAri, to the great Miller the Killer. Because
Why?
once upon a time, after the last Star Wars things, he said, "You guys are stupid." Now he says that all the time, EliteAri, so that's not news. And we would never apologize for being smart about something if Miller the Killer thinks we're stupid. But Miller the Pillar pointed out, EliteAri, that Disney Plus is a terrible streaming service and that these movies look like dog shit on their streaming service. And I said, "You crazy." And then I just can't unsee it now. They look absolutely terrible on Disney Plus. I watched all 3 of them. Every time there's a long shot, like everything is like pixelated and terrible. It's okay in the close-up shots; they look like good. But for the long shots, they're like for the text scroll, it looks all pixelated. And any other long shot where it's supposed to look cool, like I remember seeing the trailer shot in The Last Jedi of like all of the things going along the salt planet, and it's like red behind them and being like on YouTube, and it looked perfect and crisp. And I was like, this is the greatest shot of all time. I'm sitting there, I'm watching fucking Star Wars The Last Jedi. It's blurry and fucking sucks. Now it's probably because our internets are bad.
No, it's
but Miller
not.
the Killer has
It's
probably
not.
good internet.
No,
So
I
you're
agree.
agreeing.
Obviously, I completely agree. Yeah, Disney Plus looks terrible for these Star Wars movies, and basically anything I watch on it is always terrible. And it's because of copyright protection. Like they don't let you stream higher than 480p. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's 720p, but I'm pretty sure it's like sub HD. Like it looks really bad, and I hate it. Unless you watch in like
But
a
on the
particular
thing,
browser,
it says 4K.
I think. I think it's like up to 4K or something. But if you watch it in Edge, it might work. I don't know. I watch it on Firefox and it doesn't look good. It doesn't work. But it's fine. It's like good enough, I guess.
Because
Yeah.
when I watched the X-Men movies on my Xbox One, they looked good. And when I watched Monsters Inc. on my Xbox One, it looked good. So you're onto something there, EliteAri. Can you believe it? I guess maybe if it's in the app or something. Is there an app I can download on my
There is,
computer? I'll have to check that out and investigate such things.
Mhm.
But so that was Miller the Killer's apology. Last time you said he was a fool for that, EliteAri.
There's no way I would ever disagree with that because I say that all the time in all my Disney Plus discussions. It always looks bad.
But you
Um,
also watch movies on YouTube in 480p, so you're a fucking idiot.
and I complain about that too. So yeah.
The great Uncharted, Many Saints of Newark, torrented, and I think one of them was 4K, one of them was 180p or whatever, you know, that funny one. And oh my god, they look beautiful, EliteAri. You should have torrented these pieces of shit.
Yep.
Doesn't matter, EliteAri. We're discontinuing Disney Plus. That's $20 more for me a month.
Yep. So now back to the actual thing here. What did you think about these 3 movies?
How are we going to talk about this, EliteAri?
I just want to know. Do you want me to tell you what I think? I don't know.
Opinions. Oh yes, Elite. Oh, we'll do overall thoughts on all 3, EliteAri. So you go first.
Yeah, I have like a very short thing for each of them. Okay. Now Force Awakens, I think is fantastic. I love it. Great movie. Rogue One, I think is great. I think there's some issues with it, but I think it's great. And then The Last Jedi, I think it is probably the most interesting Star Wars movie. There's like a lot to talk about, I think. I don't know what I think that strongly about it. I guess we'll talk about it when we get to it, but it's like, I have mixed feelings on it, I guess. But yeah, those are my overall
Didn't even
thoughts.
rate it on Letterboxd. You have such mixed feelings on it. Can you believe that?
Mhm.
EliteAri, let's break this down by the great, what do you call it? Letterboxd review ratings. These are out of 5, but it's really out of 10, EliteAri, because you can do half stars. But we're going to say out of 5. So EliteAri, we have Star Wars: The Force Awakens, a movie I saw in 2015, in little December, sitting there. Oh my goodness, it was 4.5 stars,
wow.
EliteAri, the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, the great Star Wars: The Force Awakens. What a great little romp, what a great little adventure, the great Rey. What a great character, best character in Star Wars. We love Star Wars: The Force Awakens, the best Star Wars movie. Spoiler alert, because we're all waiting for me to like The Last Jedi, EliteAri. So we got. Now I didn't know you gave it 5 stars, so this destroys all of my enthusiasm for this discussion because I thought you were going to dislike it.
No, it's
Then we've
fantastic.
got Rogue One, EliteAri, this shitty movie that made me swear off Star Wars. Remember how Red Letter Media roasted this shitty movie and destroyed Star Wars forever? That's really the original turning point, EliteAri, when the great internet, they turned on Star Wars when they saw that great review. Even though I remember when the IGN review came out like 2 weeks before the movie came out and gave it like a 9 out of 10 and said it was as good as Empire, everybody was very excited. You know, things change a little quickly on the internet, and we pretend that we were never there. Now, this movie, oh my god, EliteAri, is this movie fucking boring. Biggest piece of dog shit I've ever seen. Until this great final act, EliteAri, 3.5 stars. Just as good as those shitty prequels.
So the final act saved
They're on a beach, EliteAri. They're shooting at each other. Oh
wow, okay. That is surprising.
We'll get into it later. Oh, we'll say this now, EliteAri, because I have a little thing written up. This is an apology to the great EliteAri. I'm full of apologies today, EliteAri. Now, where did I write this out? EliteAri, a few weeks ago, I lied to you, ... I sat here and I said I didn't really like silly Star Wars because of the shooting when you accused me of being Black Lagoon about it. And I'm here to tell you, EliteAri, that I love Black Lagoon. And it looked like a lagoon here because of the water. I love shooting, EliteAri. It's better than swords. It's better than any of this nonsense.
That's
Shooting
crazy.
is the only good action. I'm always sitting here saying action sucks. Now, Naruto, obviously the greatest action of all time. And, you know, swords have never been cool, EliteAri. Dragon Ball Z doesn't have swords. Naruto has swords sometimes, I guess, when you're clashing. You think Berserk has good fight scenes? Where's Spider-Maning around in Attack on Titan? Get serious, EliteAri. That doesn't count. Now...
Wait. What do you think about the shooting from planes and stuff? Like from the jets or whatever, like the different aircraft?
Oh, that's okay, you know. But I like it when we're on the beach and, you know, there's two groups and they come at each other and like 2 dudes fall down from each group and then we all get behind cover and then we keep shooting. That's the epic stuff. I used to talk about that in the first 3 movies, remember? In the hallways, EliteAri. Now, that's great stuff. So, you know, silly Star Wars. And then, EliteAri, we get to Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Which, I don't know, I only finished this movie 2 hours ago. I'll tell you what, I didn't fucking like it, EliteAri. So I guess it was probably like either 3 or 3.5 stars. I should just give it 3 stars, huh?
Well, if you didn't like it, it's probably less than 3, right?
But, you know, maybe I did like it.
Well, I guess we'll
but
talk through
probably
this
not.
and see.
What an unfunny movie. What a dumb movie.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if you... Yeah, okay. We'll get to it when we get to it, I guess.
This sucked, EliteAri. We have the exact same opinion.
I don't think we do. I think I like The Last Jedi a lot more than you. But I guess we'll see when we talk through this.
Pew, 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 pew,
yeah, I'm very curious
That's
what you don't like about it, yeah. But we have so much to get through before we get to that, I guess.
We have to wait 2 hours to talk about that silly movie.
Very true. Or
I wanted to watch like I wanted to watch like a reaction of the Force Awakens because I was thinking back because I obviously have this revealing the ratings thing planned out, and I was like, what did I like about the Force Awakens so much? So hopefully I wrote it down here in my notes that I haven't gone over it yet either, so
Mm.
we can remember. But anyway, I guess that's where we go first.
Yeah, into the Force Awakens. Should we just talk about it?
I think so.
All right.
That one came out first, I believe.
So, there's so much to say about this. I don't know. It's like the first movie not made by George Lucas. It's like it had so much like baggage behind it. Oh my god, everyone was so excited for it, and there was like a big lead up to it, and all the trailers were so exciting, and they're like revealing all the new villain. Oh my god, Kylo Ren. He's like in the snow. There's like this cool.
Did you cry when Han Solo showed up, EliteAri, in the trailer?
Absolutely not, because I don't really care that much about the original trilogy.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, EliteAri, I do have 2 overall notes I remember now of I think it's mostly about The Force Awakens, but it's kind of about both. So, maybe I should start with this. So.
Go ahead.
So the prequels just don't exist, which is funny, but millions and millions of original trilogy callbacks. A response to the prequels in a scene with all these unnecessary practical effects bird in the desert. I feel like I thought something was some sort of meta thing. Oh, there was a shitty puppet bird or something, or slow stop motion bird, wasn't there, EliteAri?
I don't know what you're talking about. There's so many
I feel like
puppet things in this. I don't know.
Yeah, on Jakku, there's like one little dumb puppet bird that looks terrible, but everybody's supposed to clap because they didn't use CGI like the prequels. It's very obvious that we hate the prequels in these new trilogies, or at least we're trying to show that we did back in the mid 2010s because it was cool back then. Yeah. Now I'm pretty sure these Disney, they're cashing in on some prequel nostalgia. You got this Ahsoka nonsense that's connected to that prequels Clone Wars nonsense. I think Obi-Wan is a prequel guy. Yeah, we hate the prequels here. They ruined Star Wars. And we really want people... Because my goodness, EliteAri, is there no prequel references? Are we seeing none of this nonsense from the prequels?
Yep.
I've never seen anything prequel in any of these movies, which was very funny because, of course, I'd seen the original movies and then I'd seen Force Awakens. And I guess Rogue One does get the closest to kind of maybe looking like a little bit of a prequel.
Well, that definitely has
not
some
very much,
overlap.
EliteAri.
Yeah. And obviously, in The Last Jedi, we get one mention of Sidious. Oh my god, a name that is used in the prequel, so it's not completely,
Didn't even realize it wasn't used in the original, so that's crazy. But that's something everybody knows. It's like a thingy, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But we ain't going to no big cities in any of these movies, I'll tell you that much.
Well, Coruscant is in Rogue One. You see it for a brief scene in Jin's flashback when she was younger. But that's how afraid they were. They didn't even want to show Coruscant, the capital. They just wanted to show
I feel like I remember that. There is one shot of somebody on a balcony looking out. Oh, I thought that was Coruscant, but I think that's in Rogue One. And they're like watching Alderaan get blown out or something.
Oh, no.
No, but you're thinking when they were a little girl or something?
When they blow up the planet.
Oh.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, yeah, was that
Coruscant? No, I think that's like Hosnian Prime or something. I don't know. That's like the new Republic capital for some reason. Yeah, because they was afraid of Coruscant, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my god, that's the worst thing about... there's like a this isn't even part of my overall thing, but I guess we can talk about it now. There's like a kneecapping in both of these like sequel movies where it's like they keep talking about how like the Republic is dead or something.
Yeah.
When we've never seen the before. Yeah. And well, how did it die? And why would the First Order exist? Why is it here? Okay. What is it?
There's two discussions to be had, right? I enjoy these two movies we've seen so far. I enjoyed them a lot. I think The Force Awakens is a fantastic movie. I unequivocally do not like the general trajectory of these 3 movies. Like, even just the premise of, like, you have... Like, the Republic basically failed, and now we're in a very similar situation to how we were at the beginning, where it's like there's a new empire, the empire has power, but no, they call it like the First Order now, and it's like the resistance is out of the rebellion. It's like the exact same dynamic as it was before, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're like in the exact same situation. I don't like that. Like, it's boring. I always, like, I wish they just went a different direction, but they didn't, so, I mean, we have what we have, and I like the movies, but I just don't like it as a more meta thing of, like, the overarching plot here, but... It is what it is.
Well, maybe they do in the 9th one, EliteAri. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Spoiling piece of shit.
There is just, I mean, one more thing, which is something everyone always talks about, but this is, again, the other issue with these sequels, which is that they very clearly have, like, 3 different visions. Like, you have the first movie, and then the second movie is, like, drastically different from the first one, and then the third one is going to be even more drastically different. Obviously, that's, like, affected by the change in directors, and obviously Carrie Fisher died, and she's going to be a big part of that, and, like, it's a whole, everything, it was, like, a mess, basically, that 9th movie, I guess, but, like, it does feel very disconnected to me, these 3 movies, as like, sequels to each other, but, yeah.
There is, Oh fuck! Oh, it does suck because there really is no sequel to The Force Awakens, and I'm assuming there really is no
Yeah.
sequel to The Last Jedi, and it's like, oh, come on, guys, what are we doing here? What, J.J. Abrams? Yeah, it's every 2 years. It's not every year. You don't have to spend 3 years in a row on shitty Star Wars. Come
Hmm.
on now.
Well, he did come
What's he
back.
doing? What the fuck did this idiot do?
Yeah, he did episode
Yeah, I know.
9.
What did he do in 2016/19? Let me go on Letterbox. I don't see nothing. Mission Impossible 2, 2006, Super 8. Oh, I seen that movie.
Hmm.
Nah, was Lost back on EliteAri? Did I miss
No.
something? Fucking idiot.
Hmm.
Anyway, J.J.
All right.
Abrams ruined everything. That's what we're saying.
Now to the Force
By making the
Awakens,
best
which
Star
is, yeah,
Wars
exactly, he did. It's what, and obviously, you know, I wonder if you'll agree with this. I think, okay, wait, I was about to say something really dumb. Obviously, Rogue One is the best looking Star Wars movie. I think this is a close second though. The Force Awakens looks really good. Like the
But I
directing,
thought The Last Jedi
cinematography.
looked the best.
Oh, that's
What are we
really
talking
interesting.
about?
Okay, what do you? Okay,
It's got red salt. That was epic.
that is true. He does have a cool setting in that final planet.
There were some creative shots, but some of them were terrible because The Last Jedi sucks, EliteAri.
Oh boy, we're gonna talk about that a
What's
lot.
so pretty about what's so pretty about stupid Rogue One?
There's
There
a
was a
lot of
beach.
there's a lot of cool things in Rogue One. Like firstly, it's like my go-to example is like is it an insert shot when they blow up Jeddah, and it's like you get a brief flash of like the city blowing up, and then it cuts away, and it's like, whoa, we didn't need to see that, but it's so cool that we get to see it for like a brief second. I don't know, random shots of
I
like
remember
the Death
seeing
Star
such
in the
shot.
horizon, and like even just seeing like when
That's
Jin is
kinda
like on
cool, I
the
guess.
when Jin is up in the tower thing, and you're like seeing how high up she is, and it's like rotating the camera, and like, man, this looks really good. Like I love the directing of Rogue One. It looks really good.
But what
And
about
yeah,
Rey in The Last Jedi when she puts her hand up and it goes in like an order? That was pretty cool. I like that.
that is true. There is obviously I think The Last Jedi also looks good. Okay, you know, Ryan Johnson.
I
What
don't
a
think
director he
anything
is.
looks so cool in The Force Awakens, but maybe I'm just forgetting.
Well, I think just
Remember in The
immediately the
Last
first
Jedi
scene I
when
think
that
looks really good. Like when they're in the
what was
camp
the
and it's
first
night and like the first order's coming down and
Oh.
there's smoke everywhere and like the lights are shooting with the like when they shoot it lights up the place and there's like lens flares everywhere. Like it looks really cool. I like the way, for instance, the first scene in that movie. And like when they're shooting Starkiller Base and for the first time and like you see these cool shots of like the lasers going in front of Kylo Ren and it's like zooming in and like and you're seeing like the laser that looks like a lightsaber and then when they're on the planet and you see the laser approaching them, like man, this looks so cool. Just like visually, these visuals are cool. And like when the
I
for
watched
instance,
this
when they're at
movie like
Maz
a week and a half
Kanata's
ago. I
they're
don't
at
remember any of this.
they're at Maz Kanata's castle, and like the resistance is coming down, and Poe is like shooting a million things out of the sky, and you're like following the ship as it's like going and killing things. I'm like, man, this is such a cool shot.
Remember
And when
in
you
The
see the
Last
lightsaber
Jedi
for
where
the
they
first time,
implied that he was
oh,
having sex with that guy? That was pretty funny.
who?
Not
Wait, who's having sex with
the
who?
little midget Yoda. The little midget
Oh,
girl
okay,
Yoda.
yeah,
When you
right.
talk about-
True,
She's
Maz
like,
Kanata.
hey, fuck that guy. And then Finn looks at that girl and goes, because
Mhm,
you know it's funny and fucking and stuff.
true. Anyway, it's a good looking movie, The Force Awakens. But
Oh my
yeah.
god, EliteAri, I tell you what's good looking. This Daisy Ridley is the prettiest girl of all time, EliteAri.
Oh
So
my
many
goodness.
close-ups of her face, and I was like, oh, this is a pretty girl. I didn't know this before, but
Mhm.
now I know it.
Yeah, so I assume you've never seen her in anything else, right?
No, I've seen her in plenty of things before,
Oh, okay.
but I only just acknowledged this beauty this
Mhm.
time through.
I do have to say, I think Rey does carry this movie. I think, well, I guess Rey and Kylo Ren, obviously.
Oh, she's the greatest of all
Yeah.
time, EliteAri. I wasn't joking, goddammit. Fuck Han Solo. Oh, the great Han Solo, he's the best in this movie.
Mhm. Well, I think for me, particularly Rey, like the best scene in this Force Awakens might be the first scenes where she's just alone, like walking around Jakku and stuff, and like going in her little daily routine and getting her like little food things and living in her little house and making a souffle or whatever. Like I like all that stuff. I think that
There
might be
is
the best
like
stuff in here.
a childish characterization that's like very important to Rey that I do like, and that does factor into it all. She's got the silly little helmet on.
Yeah.
She's she's like arguing with the great BB-8 EliteAri, a true R2D2 successor. We love the great
That is
BB-8
true.
here, and they're just hanging out. He needs a new little thingy, and then when she sees him in The Last Jedi, who says these movies don't have continuity, she sees his little new antenna, and she says, "Oh, nice little antenna, my friend."
Mhm.
And they're just best friends. And then Poe comes up and has never met her before, and they meet at the end of that one.
Sure.
Bet you didn't remember that, because I didn't remember that.
Yep.
And the great Rey. What a great
think
character.
yeah.
She's not cringe like that dumb Luke Skywalker in that first shitty Star Wars movie. You know, he gets better, you know. And that shitty Anakin sucks, EliteAri. She's much better than her. Yeah, that loser. Except for the first one, that little kid actor, he was the best.
Right. Well, speaking of kid actors, I think the kid actor for Rey was also really good. She's only in this for like 5 seconds, but she's screaming like, "No, come back!" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel so bad
Oh,
for her."
just
Oh my
like
god.
Powder, right, EliteAri? All your favorite crying little girls, you little weirdo.
No, Powder was not screaming, "Come back!" She was like, "I hate my sister." Oh my god. All right.
Me too.
Yes, more about Rey though. I completely agree. The way I wrote this in my notes is I said I think she has a bunch of like cute little mannerisms. And I don't know if I know anyone agree with this, but the way she runs is like kind of like weird, like in a cool way. I'm like, oh, that's like a Rey way of running. I don't know how to describe it, but she like runs really weird. And I like
Nah,
the way
you're a
she
little
fights with a
weird,
stick and
Ollie.
stuff. I don't know. It's like a little. This is Rey.
She
Oh
does
my god,
fight
she's like
with
a
a
little
stick.
character. Yeah.
She's a little poor stick girl. Now, this is not the great. Hold on, EliteAri. Hold on. I'm thinking of the planet's name. Jakku is in this one, and then the other Tatooine. This is not the great Tatooine, EliteAri. This is a different one. Oh, remember that Rogue One when we're flashing to 7 different planets in the first 5 minutes, and I'm expected to keep up? What a terrible, shitty movie. Anyway, this one, this great movie here, just had the same planets, but they decided to call them different things.
That is true. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Oh, and remember, EliteAri, this is a callback to our last discussion where we were talking about the great Star Wars Battlefront 1, of course, the better one, because, I never played that second one you like. All of the sequel planets were also in that one, because I remembered, I don't even think, maybe Tatooine is in there too, but there's a level where you're in the desert and that AT-ST. No? Is that the big one, EliteAri, or is that the little chicken one?
The AT-AT is the big one.
The AT-AT, it's dead in the sand, and you got to fight over it. You can use it for cover and stuff. So, I didn't remember that the sequel, but of course, EliteAri, we had tying the sequels in with the old movies and ignoring the prequels in the great Star Wars Battlefront 1. What a great video game.
Yep.
I'm sure there was another one, but I don't like another planet from the sequels in that or something. Though there might have only been 4 maps.
I don't.
There was a Rocky one. Where's the Rocky one from?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember it enough. There's no way I'm gonna comment. But one thing on Rey though, I guess my last like actual high level note on Rey is it is a wild experience for me watching this first movie again, knowing how much people hate Rey. Rey has to be like the most hated character in like all of Star Wars by far.
Because she's a woman, EliteAri.
Well, it is interesting to like think about it. I'm sure that is part of it. I mean, the most like the thing people go to is that she's like a Mary Sue, where she like picks up all her abilities with no problem.
She certainly is, EliteAri.
Yeah. It's just
and more so in Last Jedi, but
yeah. I don't know. It was an interesting experience. Yeah, I'm like, man, people really hate this character.
I will say, I guess she is a little less likable in The Last Jedi, maybe.
That's probably true, a little bit.
She's a little more annoying when she's like sucking up to Luke. She's saying Master Luke. This guy's no master. What's she sucking up to him for? That was annoying me. But that's definitely not why these idiots don't like him, EliteAri. They don't like him because she's not sucking up enough, because the great Luke Skywalker is so cool and stuff. We hate that shitty old man. But anyway, we can talk about that later. The Mary Sue stuff probably comes back more on that, because there's I don't know. I wrote it down. I can bring it up later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right, well then.
Actually, this reminds me of a little anecdote, EliteAri, because I think I was watching Kinda Funny Something a long time ago, and they were talking about how, these sequel movies, whatever, they're not so good, they don't really resonate or something. And then one of them brought up on the panel, they were like, but I bet in 20 years, all the little girls that love Rey will, like, want more Rey movies or something. And I remember at the time thinking, little girls don't like Rey. Rey's boring as hell. Because, all I had was the Force Awakens memories, EliteAri, and I mustn't have liked Rey. I must have thought she was a Mary Sue or something. Can you believe it? But now I'm like, these little girls, all these little Star Wars kids, they love the great Rey, not Army, EliteAri, every time I nearly go to say it. Her Rey Palpatine, of course, as we're going to find out in the 9th one or something. So, and isn't there supposed to be a 10th one with her in it, EliteAri?
Yeah, there is. I'm pretty sure there's
more
movies
so she doesn't die in the 9th one?
I mean, we don't know if they're like sequels, but I mean, there are more Rey movies coming.
And that's a good point, EliteAri. That's a good point. Now, so all the little girls out there do love the great not Rey Army. So that's good to know.
Yeah, I like Rey so far. I guess we'll see where the 9th movie goes.
My daughter, EliteAri, is going to have a Rey poster on her wall. Just wait and see.
True. Well, next character, Kylo Ren. Big part of this movie. What do you think about Kylo Ren?
Now, Kylo Ren, he's a little pussy boy, but that's kind of the point. And I wanted him to kiss so bad, EliteAri, so he must be okay.
Wait, who? Him and Rey, I'm guessing.
Him and Rey, of course, the great Rey Army. Now, But that was in the second one. But they were teasing a little bit. He had her strapped down on a table, EliteAri, and they were flirting a little bit by trying to mind rape each other. It was pretty cool.
That is true.
But, you know, what do we think about the great Kylo Ren? You know, he's sitting there, he's like sad about something. He's a little evil in this first one, and then they kind of change directions. I don't know, and maybe he's a little bit of a victim to a change of direction a little bit, EliteAri. Kylo Ren's just okay. I can't tell if his lightsaber is cool or dorky, EliteAri, but if it's dorky, it just plays into him being a little bit of a dork, EliteAri. So, you know, Star Wars wins no matter what. That's what they always say.
Yeah, there's a few things to say, I guess, about Kylo then. One is that I agree that he is a bit, like, he's childish in the way that he's portrayed, which is, I think, like, the point. I guess we'll see what happens in the next movie. But yeah, so far it seems to be the point.
He's a little fanboy.
Yeah, like, he's well, what does that mean? What do you mean by that?
He loves the great Darth Vader?
I guess.
He has his toys in his room.
Yeah, but it's not really a fanboy thing. It feels more like the expectations of greatness. Like he wants to live up to like something. He wants to be respected and loved. And like Luke turned him away, and now he has.
This is kind of a big thing too. Is like I still don't understand why he's. Well, I guess they kind of explain it here, but especially in this first movie, it's like why is he a bad guy? Why does he want to kill his parents? Like they could have at least said that like Han Solo abandoned him because he's Han Soloing or something.
Yeah.
Which maybe they imply, but that's never really spoken outright.
No, there's the two implications. One is that like Snoke got to him, whatever that means. And then the second is that like Luke, obviously the stuff that happens in The Last Jedi, which is that Luke kind of betrays him in his perspective.
Yeah, that does. We're not allowed to talk about that yet, EliteAri. Now, why did you bring it up? Now, now I'm going to bring up something from The Last Jedi because this is something that I didn't write down, but I did observe and want to recall. There was a cute moment because obviously I know in episodes 9 or something they reveal that Palpatine was doing it all or something crazy. I don't really know, but that's what I'm assuming. And then there was a point where like obviously in the Last Jedi like they're connected for whatever reason through the Force, and then Snoke tries to say he did it or something. We're ignoring that. Okay. I was like, oh my god, the great Palpatine is linking him, and like it's just like Anakin and how he turned Anakin, and I was like, oh my god, this is a great prequel callback where it's Anakin's having these dreams or visions about how Padme's gonna die, and it didn't make any sense in that shitty movie. But I was like, oh my god, it's like love again, and love and that Palpatine's up to his old tricks. It's so cute. But then they were just like, oh,
Snoke did it. Yeah,
Snoke did it. Is it Snoke or Stoke, or how am I supposed to remember this nonsense?
Snoke, very easy. Like Snake, but with an R.
His face was all weird. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Hey, I like the way Snoke looks. It's pretty cool. But that's what a great theory. My goodness, if only the great Rian Johnson.
It's gonna be. That's what they're gonna reveal in the great episode 9.
Maybe we'll see. Okay, yeah, Kylo. Okay, firstly, yeah, the childish stuff is interesting. Secondly, I think the aesthetic of him is very like it's a big part of who he is. Like I like the way he looks. I like the acting, like the his voice.
Adam
like,
Driver's a weird looking fella, EliteAri. Can you believe it?
he's an unconventionally I don't know how he looks. Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you something. There's a certain subsection of girls, they love this guy, EliteAri. So we ain't calling him ugly here.
Absolutely not.
Now he's like an ex-Marine or something. I remember hearing that when he did an interview one time that I watched. That could be fake news, EliteAri.
I don't remember
if that's fake news.
Probably not.
That's like.
But yeah, he has like a deep voice, and it's like very in contrast to like the childish like demeanor and everything. And I think it's cool. I do like the aesthetic of Kylo Ren. His lightsaber is obviously very cool. The way he like walks around, like he stomps around when he's like walking, it's like really cool. I like the performance. And I like the character. Like it's like the opposite of like someone who's on the light falling to the darkness. It's someone who's on the darkness who's feeling like the pull of the light, and it's like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
Can't you wait to talk about thematic Force stuff when we get to the great Last Jedi, EliteAri? It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah. And I really, really do like the final scene with Han.
He was a Marine, EliteAri. I've been Googling it in the background.
Yeah.
After 9/11, he joined the Marines. Can you believe it? What a patriot.
Yep. Well, good
2 years and 8 months before fracturing his sternum while mountain biking, he was medically discharged with the rank of Lance Corporal.
Mm-hmm. This is so great.
Then he became an actor.
Yep, and I've seen him in 4 movies, I think. These 3 and then A Marriage Story, which was really good. He's really good in that.
I haven't seen Marriage Story, all right? Stop flexing.
Yeah. It is kind of funny seeing him in this, because now when I think of Adam Driver, I just think of like, oh, he's like this artsy like film person who like only does like really good movies, but now he's in like these 3 Star Wars
Now
movies.
I've only seen clips of this Marriage Story, EliteAri, but isn't it like a similar, like he's like a freaking out kind of emotional character?
No, he's like a music. He owns like a theater production house or something, and he's like very quiet and subdued and
But he gets
distant.
mad
And
that his wife doesn't
well,
understand
there's
him,
like
right?
a
And that's like the great Kylo Ren.
there's a famous scene, I
Maybe
guess,
this
that
is
you're
just
probably
a
thinking of.
universal theme of
Hmm.
people not understanding you and you feeling alienated from the world,
True.
and we're reading into it too much.
Yep. But great. I like Kylo Ren. Good character, good casting. Really stands out. I like him a lot. Yeah. Any what else? What do you want to say now, Kyle? Go ahead.
The great new Nazi guy, isn't he just so annoying?
That's one of the okay. You're talking about General Hux, who is fantastic, fantastic in The Force Awakens. Love him, hate him in The Last Jedi. He's like a butt of many jokes.
Remember when he got
He's
prank called by the great Poe Dameron EliteAri? The great Poe
yep,
Dameron you haven't
yep.
brought up
That
yet?
was the beginning of the end
That
of
sure was
Hux's.
funny at the very beginning, wasn't it?
Oh
You were
boy.
like, oh, we're in for a good one here.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we'll
Please
talk about that.
hold.
Yeah.
And your mama joking one. Remember when Goku did that in DBZ Abridged? That was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was much funnier.
I
He said
like
click burn EliteAri.
yes, I like Hux because he is like in The Force Awakens specifically, he is in like how do I even describe this? It's so easy to kind of okay, wait. It's like a word I'm looking for. The portrayal of Hux is very it's like over the top and intense, right? Like he's really dedicated to that like cause. Like he is the First Order through and through. He's always like serious. He's always yelling. He has that one intense speech where he's
Why?
like,
We'll never know.
yeah, he's screaming and he's like really crazily like talking about the First Order and like how we're gonna do this and kill the Republic and blah blah blah. And he's like really crazy. And it's great, good performance and everything. And it's like played very like seriously in The Force Awakens. But then like it's so easy to kind of like take a character like that and make fun of them in like, which is what happens in The Last Jedi, which is that like
Sure.
you kind of he's like instead of taking it very earnestly, I mean like this is a very serious like dangerous person who is like being like rabidly kind of believing this ideology. We kind of
He's
make fun of that
radicalized.
ideology. Yeah, we like make fun of the radicalization in the next one, which is kind of a shame because I kind of liked it was really cool to see
Of
like
his
a very
seriousness.
radicalized character. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I liked Hux in this first movie basically. But yeah.
It is funny because this was actually my second note before I was so rudely interrupted. My secondary overall note was that it feels very modern in every sense of the word. Now, this was talking about The Force Awakens. The diversity, the Marvel self-awareness humor, not good. I have in caps and brackets. The way the story is told, or I was like, this feels like a... So this was supposed to be a compliment and a thingy, because I do like that it's sort of like the way the story is told is very modern, the way it sort of unfolds. I don't know how to elaborate on that point, but that's my feeling on it. Obviously, it's very diverse, EliteAri. We love diversity. It is our strength here. And then we have the Marvel humor, which, you know, I feel like I was very mad about when I was watching the first Force Awakens, maybe at the beginning. I didn't want Star Wars to be self-aware. It's just this Poe idiot. Why is he saying, do you talk or do I talk?
I like that. I like that joke. I don't think it feels Marvel at all. I think like
terrible.
The Last Jedi has a bunch of Marvel like modern humor, which I don't like.
It's the worst
This
I've ever
one,
seen in my life,
yeah,
EliteAri.
this movie, nothing really. There's like two things I can think of. One, I can understand why you could think that Poe one could be like that. I buy it. Like I think it works really well in the movie.
Finn one too.
I don't know about the Finn one. The one I'm thinking of is when they see the Falcon and they like make the joke of like, oh, that like, oh, let's just go with the junk or whatever, and then it's like the Millennium Falcon. I'm like, oh, the joke here is that it's like the famous ship and we're like not meant to notice it or whatever. That's
They
like
do that a bunch. Oh my god, EliteAri, I might not. Oh no, I wrote it down. Oh god damn it. That was the Last Jedi thing I was going to say again. It had to do with the Millennium Falcon. It's the greatest line in any of these movies. It's so awesome. Oh, we're bringing it up, EliteAri. Stop teasing. When, at the very end, when Kylo is so mad that he says, and he screams with all of his venom and voice, he says, shoot that piece of shit out of the sky or something. He doesn't say shit, EliteAri. But the greatest line delivery I've ever heard in my life, I was like, oh my, oh, it was so great. It's like a Sopranos Berserk moment, EliteAri, where it's like you want the character to react so viscerally to something that you know should annoy them or resonate with them on something. And the fact that it's his dumb piece of shit dad's ship and that girlfriend that just left him shooting up his army, and he's so hopping mad, and nobody else in the thing understands why it's mad. And sometimes in EliteAri in stories, when the characters around them don't understand, the reaction is muted. It's just, it would just be a close-up where a character says something that implies the thing, but they don't know. It's like a dramatic irony thing. And then we close up on Kylo Ren clutching his fist, and he says, shoot that thing out of the sky. But no, he throws some fucking idiot against the wall and he says, shoot that fucking thing. It was the greatest line delivery.
I agree. I completely agree.
Kylo Ren, we love him.
Yep.
I'm gonna watch it again after this.
There's like there's so many. I don't know. I wonder what you think about the. I mean, it's just Last Jedi stuff. Like in that same scene where he's like shooting Luke, and he's like more. Like keeps yelling more, and I'm like, man, this is great. He's like really mad here.
That was okay. That wasn't as good, but that was every gun on that man. He says, "Oh, what a great character. We
Absolutely.
love him."
All right.
I
Anyway,
can't believe Luke tried to kill him like that. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Stop going ahead.
It is the most interesting movie. That is for sure. Okay. I just have a bunch of miscellaneous notes. What are your like high level notes?
No, we're going through the characters, EliteAri, and you did 2 of them.
Okay, well, I mean, next up is obviously Finn. What do you think about Finn?
FN287. The great Finn. You know, he was kind of funny. And then I realized in The Last Jedi, we were still pretending that he was a coward, and I thought that was interesting too. He was trying to escape, but his girlfriend stopped him. So that was kind of cool. I like that he's a big scaredy cat.
True.
There is an annoying bullshit, you know, that hero's journey thing these fucking dorks are always talking about. If you like the hero's journey or you ever talked about it in a video, kill yourself. I'm talking about it in a video now, EliteAri. I guess I gotta kill myself.
Yeah, but you're tearing it down.
That's not good. There's always a shitty part in these shitty hero's journey bullshit where Luke Skywalker goes, "No, I can't go on this great adventure that I obviously want to go on, and my characterization would lead you to believe I want to go on because I just said before that I wanted to go and be a pilot. I've got to do the farming with my uncle." And then he turns around and runs back, but then his uncle's dead, so he's got to go anyway. Both Rey and Finn have moments like this. Rey has one that really annoyed me, EliteAri. The great Rey, not Iron Army, would never do that. But Finn having one and then him still having it into the second movie, I think that's okay. Now, Finn is funny a lot of the time, EliteAri, but sometimes he's doing Marvel humor, and we don't like that very much. Just like that example I can't remember that I just brought up. Now, you know what was a funny Marvel humor moment? Is when they got Phasma and he's flexing her. He says, "Yeah, bitch." And then he's doing gang signs at her. That was pretty funny, huh?
Yes, kind of.
The great Captain Phasma, EliteAri. What a boring bullshit character. Gwendolyn Christie sucks. Hashtag.
You know what? Every scene she was in was good, but I mean, like, yeah, there's not much of that character.
No, it was not.
it was fine. Actually, I thought it was
movie.
good. It was good. What do you mean the third movie? You mean in Last Jedi, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She just gets beaten in 2 seconds.
That's what I mean. No, she doesn't.
Got beaten in 2 seconds.
Nothing really happens, but every scene she's in is like, oh my god, she like looks really cool.
Oh, when he talked to Oscar Isaac is that guy.
Dameron, yeah.
This guy is Apocalypse.
He is?
No.
And he's in Ex Machina.
All I remember is when he was cast as Apocalypse, because I was like a little kid really into like superhero stuff. Everybody was like, "Oh, the great Oscar Isaacs is going to be Apocalypse. This is great." I expected him that he was like some old man like Josh Brolin or something. Because the great Thanos, you remember that? But he's some young Poe Dameron? This is crazy. New things you learn every day. I've never seen this guy in anything. Anyway.
Well,
we were talking about
this was
John
the first movie I ever
Boyega,
saw
our favorite Finn. What a funny guy. You know, we like this fella.
I think Finn's fine. He doesn't stand out as much as like Rey and Kylo to me, but I mean, he's fine, I think. He serves his role.
Now, he's another victim here because we're trying to set up that he's like a Jedi or something in this first one or something, but I'm assuming that's not coming back.
Wait, what?
Oh,
why are we setting up this as a Jedi?
He fought with his great lightsaber, EliteAri.
I don't think there was any hint of him like using the Force or like having any type of like always having weird dreams.
He was going to learn it. He had the.
I reckon maybe
everybody can have the Force.
True, maybe the Force Awakens. Maybe the Force awakened in him.
He's a stormtrooper. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Yeah, you know what? The premise is very cool. I do like that. Like a stormtrooper having anxiety during a fight, being like.
But he wasn't a clone, EliteAri. They're never clones, apparently. You keep telling me.
Yes. Well, these are specifically like these might be not clones, but like they might have been genetically engineered or something. Because Hux talks about
he got kidnapped when he was a little boy. He said.
Yeah, and he talks about how like Hux says that he programmed them or something. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess maybe through like literal programming or like maybe through like a education scheme or something.
We wouldn't have something as stupid as clones in this movie. A clone army? You're fucking stupid. They're all Boba Fett's dad. That's ridiculous. People suck.
So Finn. Okay, what about Poe then? Go ahead. Poe, pilot.
He was a funny guy sometimes when he wasn't terrible. Remember that?
When was he terrible?
Now, when he was doing a prank call.
Okay, well, that's The Last Jedi. Forget about that one. We'll get to that.
Oh, I can't forget about it. There was definitely some. He wasn't always good in this first one. I'll tell you what. Oh, he did the do you speak or I speak? Shut up, you fucking.
I like that. Good joke.
Oh, you didn't mention Max von Sydow. He was like an old guy who was Force adjacent or something. Everybody's just talking about how this is the greatest actor of all time. I've seen him in 2 things, and they were both underwhelming, frankly. Three-Eyed Raven wasn't that cool, and neither was this guy. And then he
I
died.
completely disagree. Three-Eyed Raven, great, and also this great performance, very memorable. Um, he is like the inciting kind of like, I mean, he's like the beginning of Kylo's arc, right? He's like talking to him, telling him like you can't deny like your heritage and you're not that evil or whatever. And I'm like, man, this is like kind of interesting. We love Lord Zenteka here. He's telling the truth. He's spitting facts.
Remember
But
when the
yeah,
great Kylo Ren saw Finn disobeying and let him go because he's just such a nice guy?
yes, they did look at each other. It was kind of cool.
That was setting up that they were going to fight in the third movie when Finn had become a Jedi.
I guess we'll see. Um, yep. Okay.
Then we had the little Yoda thing.
Maz
She has
Kanata.
Set.
Yep.
What a cool name. Unlike that one cone-headed guy who has a lame name.
Yep.
Say his name,
Oh
Illyri.
boy. What was it again? Kyodi Mundi.
Yes, they fucked up his age in that TV show.
So some people say. Okay. Yes.
Now
Maz Kanata is. I don't know. She's like kind of cool. Very little of her.
she has
in
the
these...
lightsaber. Why did she have the lightsaber?
Oh, that's
crazy.
an interesting story for another time, which we haven't found out yet. But
oh, that's what she says in the movie. I thought EliteAri was saying that's in episode 9 just now, but he's not. Now, first of all, who cares? Let's talk about the great old characters, EliteAri.
Yep. What is okay?
You're leading this, you fucking idiot. So
There's 3 old
console.
characters. Okay, there is. We'll start with Princess Leia. Okay, Leia Organa. She is in this. She is older. She has a very different sounding voice. She doesn't sound very similar.
My goodness, is the voice so different, EliteAri? You could never tell. Does
Yep.
she look anything like she did
She does
30
look
years
like
ago? Absolutely not.
No, I think she does. You can see Leia in her. I think she at least visually looks like her.
Unrecognizable. Nothing about this is she got recast and you couldn't tell me otherwise. Now, also, do you know she was only 60 when she died? That's crazy.
No, I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy. There's no way. She'd be older than that, right?
She was 60 when she died, which means she was probably like 59 in this movie.
Man, that's actually kind of crazy.
Even younger than that, probably like 58 or 57. She looks about 73, EliteAri.
Yeah,
and
you know,
this is where you make a funny cocaine joke about how it ages you and makes your voice different, EliteAri. Go ahead.
I don't know about her backstory or anything. I never looked into it.
I was reading her whole Wikipedia page because I was trying to figure out what she died from and everything. She died of a heart attack on a plane. And then I remember this story from the time. Her mum died like the next day because she was so sad and she had a stroke. And her mum was an actress. And it's very dramatic in the Wikipedia write-up. They say that before her mother forced herself to have a stroke, she said, "I want to be with Carrie" to her son. So, that's very tragic, and that's like
what a
movie.
wonderful story.
You know that she made like an autobiographical book, and then that got turned into a movie or something? We can do that as our third movie for the next one, the next little video, EliteAri. I can't wait, and I'm gonna watch that movie. That was just so interesting. She said that in that book she was promoting when she died, that her and Harrison Ford had an affair when they were filming the first movie. EliteAri, can you believe that? I was just learning so much stuff. She married a singer, and then she got engaged to another dude, but then she got back with the dude before that, and then something. It was crazy.
You know what I always found interesting? Completely like unrelated, I guess, or somewhat related. And I'm also not sure how true this is, but I'm like pretty sure it's true. Which is that I'm pretty sure that oh my god, Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford were like, I think Harrison Ford was like the first to accept like being in these sequel movies, and then Carrie Fisher was like next, and then Mark Hamill was the one that was like hesitant on like accepting whether he was going to be in these, which is kind of interesting because I know like the reputation of Harrison Ford specifically is like he doesn't want anything to do with Star Wars.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, but he was like the first to sign up for this. And I guess Carrie Fisher was also like pretty happy to, but Mark Hamill didn't. At least that's what I heard like 10 years ago. I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but that's kind of interesting to me. But yeah, that's most of the meta I know about their backstory. I don't know much about them. I never read her book. I don't know much about her.
The meme is like that Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill never did like much else, right? Like Mark Hamill was the Joker in that cartoon or whatever, but Harrison Ford is like in a million other things, right?
I've never seen.
Because if we look on the IMDb here, it's a bunch of Batman. Apparently Mark Hamill is in a Scooby-Doo movie. He's in Child's Play. That's crazy.
I mean, he's in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I don't see that on here, EliteAri. You're a big liar. Oh, you're not talking about the great live action. You must be talking about that shitty cartoon.
Yep.
So Mark Hamill goes into voice acting, which is interesting. Whatever. I'm assuming he has enough money. He doesn't need to do anything. And Carrie Fisher is in not much else either. So, especially like more recently. So, but Harrison Ford, he's still out there being Indiana Jones. What a great guy.
Yeah. Now he's a Marvel character. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to watch it. Not.
Very funny.
Also, you got to remember that this Harrison Ford idiot is like 20 years older than these two other ones. probably like 15 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it's also very funny because he sounds and looks like Harrison Ford. And it's probably just because he was much older when he like was in those original movies. And like Mark
Yeah.
Hamill doesn't look anything like
He
Luke,
does a little
really.
bit. A little bit. It's I
A
can
little
see
bit.
it. I see the same character in my eyes. But it is he is different. Harrison Ford does look pretty much the same. He just looks older.
It does, because there is like a thing, and I guess this was a thing I was experiencing in both. Oh my god, you know how I always liken something to something I've done recently
Mm-hmm.
in Many Saints of Newark and Uncharted, because obviously these are there are characters there, but they are played by different actors, and it's like it's sort of you still can call on like the feelings of the original characters, especially when you're doing like references or something. And I talked about how in Uncharted they have the guy from the video game do a little cameo thing, and it's like, oh, that's really cute or whatever. It kind of like that's kind of like the default I have for Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher in this. It's like, oh, it's not them, but you know, it's we'll just treat it like it's them, but it was actually them, EliteAri. So that's a little retarded, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'm
But
on the
I don't know. They
side
just look so different.
yeah, there is like a big argument. We're gonna get to it when we get to Solo next time, I guess. But obviously, he was recast for Solo.
Yeah.
I'm firmly on the side of like I don't care anything about the meta of the story. Like I don't care if like the actual actors come back or anything. Just make them look exactly the same, and I'm happy. Use CGI if you want. Use AI if you want. Whatever. Just make them look the same, and I'll be very happy. So
They got to sound the same too.
Yeah, sounding the same is probably second, but yeah, I think looking the same is probably the most important. Sound is like also pretty important. But yeah, we love AI. Just use AI.
I guess it's interesting because Harrison Ford is there and doesn't have these issues. But
I would be
whatever.
curious to see what you think if you did watch the Book of Boba Fett and you see like the young Luke Skywalker in that, who looks identical to like Luke in like those original trilogy movies, and be like, what do you think of this performance?
Does it sound right?
Well, to me, he sounds the same. I know a lot of people do have like a complaint. I don't know if they complain about the voice. I think they complain about the voice not necessarily matching the visuals or something. But I think it's a really interesting recreation of a character that like doesn't exist anymore. Like obviously Mark Hamill doesn't look like that anymore, but they just recreated the character.
Well, there's a recreation coming up in the next movie, EliteAri. Maybe we can discuss such things then.
True. Obviously way better done in the Book of Boba Fett, but yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. Did you really say what
Princess
you think?
Leia?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Princess Leia. They keep calling her Leia Organa, and I'm like, is that her dumb fake name? And it was EliteAri.
Yeah.
And oh my god! In the Great Rogue One, I'm like, is that Princess Leia's fat dad in the background? And then when he's doing little things, because her dad's in it, EliteAri. What are you, fucking stupid?
What, is he fat? I don't remember that.
Oh, he's a little chubby, EliteAri. You know, it's kind of funny.
Oh my god. Okay.
In the face, maybe more so than anything else, but you know, that's what counts.
So.
But then he did the great pose where he's like, I would trust her with my life. And I was like, oh my god, it is her dumb dad.
Yep.
That was a prequel thing.
It is. That is like a very strong bridge between like the prequels and the sequels. Is having that one character.
No, it's fake. Yeah. It's a sequel one, just because the talking point coming out of the original movies is always that like Leia should be more sad that her real dad died and not care about Vader. That's like a thing people used to say. I feel like I heard that even before the Force Awakens came out and before I'd seen these movies. So don't be fooled into thinking they're doing a great prequels reference there, EliteAri. It's only kind of tangentially to, and because this is, oh my god, does this happen in the shitty for the third movie here, where we're constantly saying the funny things that the internet has said for years about these shitty stuff. Yeah, what's the Force? What? You move rocks?
Yep, okay. Yep.
Lightsabers? Pew, pew, pew. So yeah, don't be fooled, EliteAri. This is just them reacting and being cowardly and defensive against what the nerds on the internet say.
Yeah, so this, just to say it here, the Rogue One, the casting of that actor to play Bail Organa, obviously from the prequels into this Rogue One movie, is definitely a prequel reference. Also the, because they also bring back Mon Mothma.
What's going on?
No, that is what I'm saying. I'm saying they're using the same casting. It is the same actor from the prequels. And the same with Mon Mothma is a character from the prequels. I don't know if she was, I think she was in like a deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith, so it's like only the hardcore fans know her or whatever, but
she's in it. I saw her in Revenge of the Sith. Mon Mothma, let me look this up.
I don't think so. Maybe you saw her in one scene when she was like bartering with Palpatine in the background or something, but I don't think
she's sitting, wait, no, Revenge of the Sith, or are we talking about Revenge of the Jedi?
Revenge of the Sith. She's also in Return of the Jedi, or is it
Return of the Jedi is the one I'm talking about. That's the one
obviously she's in that, but the actor's like a different actor in the prequels, but they bring her back for Rogue One, which is really cool.
She's in the prequels? What's going on?
That's what I was trying to say. She's like in a deleted scene in like Revenge of the Sith or something, but yeah. Anyway.
Okay, we're on the same
track. Beside the point. Did you say what you think about Carrie Fisher? Am I crazy? I don't remember what you said.
Wait, isn't there a line in Rogue One, or am I making this up, where somebody goes to Princess Leia's fat dad and says, "You gotta go and get Obi-Wan and Yoda." Somebody says
No,
that
he
or
says
something, right?
your Jedi friend or something. You need to go get your
Ah,
Jedi.
that's the greatest line of all time, EliteAri. We
Mhm.
love the last half an hour of Revenge of the Jedi, or whatever that shitty prequel third movie is called, EliteAri, where it's just the three of them hanging out, and this fat dad is there for some reason, coming up with plans. And Yoda and Obi-Wan go to hide forever because they're idiots, and because we got to go back with what the silly original trilogy did.
True.
Oh, it's great. What a great callback. We love that.
Yes, Revenge of the Sith.
We love the prequels here.
Mhm.
Now, Carrie Fisher. She's in these movies. I don't know. I don't like her, I think.
I think she has one good scene, which is in The Last Jedi. But yeah, besides that, I don't think
Which
there's
one?
the
When
when
she
she
floats,
no
EliteAri,
no
in
no no wait, we're not
space,
talking about that
leave
yet.
the Star Wars jumping
You know what?
off?
Let's just leave it. We'll talk about it when we get to it. But yeah, Force Awakens still somehow.
Her and Han reuniting was not cool. Why?
I mean, it was okay. It was like, oh, I just personally, I just
feel
don't
like
have
she
much
had a
investment.
cute line, but it wasn't cute and it wasn't funny, and it felt like Marvel humor.
Well, you
Well,
had
she has the hair
C-3PO
one
step
in
in and
Last
be
Jedi. That
like,
was bad.
yeah, but the
Ah,
C-3PO is not a
this
Marvel joke.
C-3PO.
That's a Star Wars joke. Like he's very
What was the
consistently
C-3PO one?
like the two of them are meeting, Han and Leia, and then C-3PO steps in but like cuts him off and is like, "Oh my God, Han Solo, you might not recognize me because of my red arm." And then
No,
goes,
that was good. We like that one. He did have a
yeah.
red arm. Why do you have a red arm? He doesn't have a red
Oh,
arm later.
I'm sure there's like a comic
Now,
book about it, but yeah, who knows?
the C-3PO is like a prequel character in the original trilogy, huh? What a
That is true, yeah.
wacky dumbass.
Yep, it's pretty great.
Coming out of the original trilogy, the great George Lucas was like C-3PO. That's what we like. What a great one. It is funny where even in The Last Jedi, Lamau, we're talking about it again, he goes to tell on Poe Dameron, but he runs to the door and there's a gun shooting, so he gets scared. The great C-3PO, he's always scared.
Also in all of these movies, every single one. Even
he's
Rogue
in
One.
every movie, isn't he?
I guess we'll see if he's in Solo, but
he's got to be. Now,
all right, so the Leia, we get it. No, okay, next up, Han.
She's not that good. I don't like her.
All right, Han Solo. Big part of this movie, a very big part.
Yes, obviously he's the greatest. Now, sometimes there was some, like when him and Rey are going back and forth about their technobabble, cringe, but everything else was good, and he's so nice to her, and he's not trying to fuck her, EliteAri, which is very important, because Han Solo should be, but, you know, we got to make him likable here. Now, and also, she's the prettiest girl of all time. Did we already say that, EliteAri? Now, Chewbacca's always keeping him in check and stuff. We love the great Chewbacca. Oh my God, the twist of all time, EliteAri, is when Chewbacca is also on the Rey and Luke planet. Nobody had ever mentioned. Now he doesn't do a whole lot, but the fact that he was there was like
he breaks down that door.
My perception of what this, and it was great. We love the great Chewbacca because I thought Rey just blew it off with her great Force powers to prove to Luke that she's a strong Jedi. But no, the great Chewbacca was saying, "Luke, you're being a pussy."
Yeah,
and eventually he listened. Oh, great Chewbacca. They gave him his medal.
Did they? Oh, in the second.
I actually don't remember that.
I
feel like
did.
I remember that from my first time. Did they do that?
What is I don't remember any medals in this movie. Why would there be a medal?
So my memory that I remembered just now was that in The Force Awakens, when I saw it in the theater, Leia gives him his medal from the original movie. Remember? Because he helps destroy the Death Star in the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
But only Luke and I remember in The Force Awakens, they have a moment where Leia gives him a medal.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember this, but maybe.
And I feel like if it happens, she might give him a medal for winning this time. But
they didn't really.
My memory is that she has a moment where she's like, "That fucking moron George Lucas thought you were a dumb Wookiee and didn't want to give you a medal. And us at Disney here would like to reward you with a great medal. Here's your medal."
It's very possible.
But
I
I
just
think
don't
I
remember.
made that up.
Yep. Who knows? People in the comments let us know. Did Chewie get a medal somehow? And we don't remember really, but it's possible, I guess.
Han Solo was out. He's just up to his old tricks, EliteAri. He's not married anymore. He's not being a dad. He's scamming these guys. And then they both showed up, and then he got out of it, and it was very funny and cute.
Yep. Tell that the Kanji Club is like a line. It's really funny. I laughed and I wrote it down.
Sounds familiar.
Yep. Well, it's like when he's in the hallway and there's like one group of people and he's like trying to tell them off or like try and get them to go away. And then they're like, "Oh, so you didn't swindle us?" Like, tell that to Kanji Club. And he turns around and Kanji Club is like on the other side. It's like, this is so funny.
Now this is actually brings up an interesting point because EliteAri, I briefly, and I think I watched like 30 minutes of the great half in the bag about The Last Jedi because I was trying to figure out what the fuck I thought about this movie.
Mhm.
And I wanted to be influenced, and they brought up how like, oh, there's an obvious like Guardians of the Galaxy influence on like The Last Jedi. And I've just realized that Guardians of the Galaxy humor and Marvel humor are kind of different, but they're kind of the same thing. And I feel like that Han Solo moment is a Guardians of the Galaxy moment, where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I feel
sure.
like
Yeah.
that idiot. What I don't remember these Guardians sucks, EliteAri, especially the first one. What's that
Mhm.
idiot's name? Star-Lord. What a loser. He's no Han Solo. I'll tell you that much, EliteAri.
Mhm.
I feel like there's definitely a moment where like two parties show up to both kill him or something, and he gets out of it or something. But
Maybe.
anyway,
I don't
making that
remember.
up too. I make up things. Remember
Mhm.
when his great dad was trying to kill him at the beginning of that first one, but then he was his dad in the second one, and then I think he died at the end. He was
Mhm.
blue.
Yep.
Spoiler.
Okay. So I guess, yeah, Han Solo, I like him in this. Obviously his stuff with Kylo Ren at the end, I said I really liked a lot. I thought that was really
He
cool.
fucking
Yeah,
died.
relationship with Rey is cute. Like the fact that he offers her to be like a pilot on the Millennium Falcon's kind of cool. You know, he's like,
He
oh,
says something to Finn about how he should tell the truth, and he had figured out that he was a big liar because
yeah,
women always
women
find out the
always
truth or
find
something.
out.
And I was
Yeah.
like, that great Han Solo, he's just wheeling
Yep.
and dealing, slutting around. We love him.
Yep. And like when he walks into Maz Kanata's place, it's like Han Solo, and everyone like looks at him, and it's like, uh oh.
Yes.
Yep.
What a reputation this old fella has. What a guy.
Yep. Um,
And he's just like at the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back. Whenever somebody brings up his son Luke's name, he's always just looking after him. Isn't that just so cute?
yes. Not literally his son, but yes. Okay. The last character to talk about, I think, unless there's like someone else I'm forgetting, really obvious, is
I don't
wait,
even know who you're about to say.
why, of course, Supreme Leader Snoke.
Oh, what a guy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he is a big character in the next movie, but I guess in this one, not really. But
When he
yeah,
does he's doing the evil monologue joke and he got killed because of it. That was really funny and cool, huh?
we're not going to talk about Snoke yet,
We're not
I
up to
guess.
it
All
yet,
right.
EliteAri.
I
Stop bringing
can
it up.
say I do like his first scene in this. Like, the
He was
performance of
cool.
Snoke, I think, is
He's
good, really
he's
good.
projected all the way up there, EliteAri, and he's so big, and you're a little loser on the ground.
Yep, it's really cool. I like he has like a line in this where I think Hux is about to say something and he's like General, and he like yells it. I'm like, oh my god, so scary. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was pretty cool. I remember that.
Yep. So I really like Snoke's performance in this. But yeah. Anyway, I guess
Any
that's
other
all the
character?
good. I think that's like every big character.
Oh, that was like a talking point I had too, EliteAri. I was thinking through in my head. I was like, Star Wars is always about 7 people, and we always
Mhm.
pretend that it's about the whole galaxy, and that's kind of a disconnect.
What about the
True.
great
What a genius.
Unkar Plot? Do you know who that is?
Wonka plot.
I think that's how you
Is
say
he the
it.
guy that Ray sells things
It
to?
is, yeah.
Because I was thinking about him right now. I'm like, that guy's a character.
He is, yeah.
He, she
Quarter
was getting ration
portion.
cards, and then she was like, "How much for the droid?" And she wouldn't sell the great BB-8 EliteAri, the greatest of all
Another
time. You
character,
didn't talk
yes.
about him yet.
Yep.
He's a great.
She is a
He's
great.
just R2D2 again. Oh,
Mhm.
it's so good. He's saving the day all the time, just like R2D2 should have, and didn't in those shitty prequels. You know, those
Mhm.
prequels suck. I was complaining about that last time, how they slandered the great R2D2, and I don't want to hear about that flamethrower again, EliteAri. It ruined my
Mhm.
talking point.
Well, BB-8
Now,
has a flamethrower
uh,
too. It's just a thumbs up. It's pretty
oh,
crazy.
he hacked the ATST or whatever that thing's called in the next
Mhm.
one. Stop talking about it. You know, maybe Rogue One wouldn't be so boring for 2.5 fucking hours if they had the great beat. Oh, they had a shitty fucking droid in that one, EliteAri. Don't worry, we'll get to it.
Mhm.
What a fuck that dumb droid. Anyway, BB-8 he's so cute, EliteAri. He rolls around.
Mhm. Okay.
Those other cute things. Oh, the great porgs, not the fat ass white girls, EliteAri. Get your head out of the gutter. Oh, they were great. I love the little penguin thing.
Mhm. But speaking of BB-8, I like the scene where he like unveils R2 and like looks up to R2 and it's like, oh, look at this. He's like so small.
Oh, EliteAri, let me tell you about nostalgia. The great
Mhm.
R2D2 was back.
He was,
Except
yeah.
he wasn't really.
He was off, turned off.
Yes,
But
and
yep.
poor C-3PO was so sad.
Yeah. All right.
And then R2D2 swore at Luke in the next one. That was crazy.
Yep. Sacred Island. True. Okay.
So we're doing a character tier list, EliteAri. We got S tier, we got Rey, not Iron Army, and we got BB-8, and we got Harrison Ford. And
Mhm.
then the rest of them, we don't care about.
We got
And
Rey,
that's all of
Kylo,
Star
and we can
Wars.
have
That's not
BB-8.
just this movie.
Mhm.
That's all of Star Wars, not just this movie.
And we'll add Palpatine in there. We love Palpatine as well. He's in.
Ah, the absolute
Mhm.
dregs, this fucking loser, and absolute DT. He's terrible.
Mhm.
You know, thinking back on those prequels, EliteAri, I remember when him and Yoda fought in that throne room. They were throwing Senate things at each other. That was the coolest thing of all time.
Yep. I guess we can talk about that. I don't have any notes on this. There is fighting in this movie. What do you think of the fighting?
You know what was really cool? When they were shooting each other in like corridors and stuff. And also the remember when they have a cool shootout on the planet when they're destroying the great female Yoda's place, and then Kylo Ren fights people in the woods. Who gives a fuck about that? Boring.
Oh, you like use the Force
Rey
to like
did beat him
freeze
up.
Rey. It was like really cool. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, when you freeze people and throw them around, that's pretty cool. Remember when he killed Han Solo and it looked really cool on the bridge?
Yeah.
And Chewbacca did a scream. That's Chewbacca being cool, like Kylo Ren was cool at the end of Return of the Jedi.
And the setup is so great.
I need to think about the names of these shitty movies, EliteAri. I don't want to hear Revenge, Return. I don't want to hear Jedi.
Rises. That's the next one. Rise of Skywalker. Anyway, yeah, but they set it up. They set it up. Oh my god, they had the Chewie blaster thing, and Han kept commenting on how strong it is and how good it is, and then it shoots Kylo Ren. He survives because he's so strong, and it's meant to show how injured he is in that final fight.
That's one of my notes. One of my notes is, did Chewbacca always have this crossbow thing, even in the original movies?
I think so.
What's the answer? I guess no.
I'm like 90% sure, I think, but maybe not.
He did or he didn't?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
because it seemed recognizable, but I didn't remember if it was just from this one. But epic.
Okay.
Wherefore?
I guess I have one miscellaneous note on Han Solo. He has one line where I think it was when he was talking to Leia, and Leia was like trying to get him to go talk to Ben, like his son, and he says like, if Luke couldn't reach him, how could I? And I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because it is like a little bit showing Han's lack of like self-esteem, which is something that it was a thing that I talked about specifically in the original trilogy as well, when he like thought that Leia was getting with Luke, and it's like, oh, this is like,
it's true.
This is kind of cool. It's like the same character. Oh my god.
Deep down inside, all that bravado EliteAri is just for show.
True. So we love Han Solo basically.
He feels bad for himself. That's why he whores and drinks and does drugs.
Yep.
And kidnaps those weird space monsters.
And does the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. Crazy.
We don't know what a parsec. Oh my god, Finn said parsec in The Last Jedi. That was crazy.
Yep.
Now, let's go through my 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 9 notes, Alira. Let's see how many we talked about this. Leia Organa, who is this old man at the beginning? I don't recognize him. True, was Max von Sydow a new character? Or is he one we were supposed to recognize?
New character.
Boring, we don't like new characters. Bro, I always knew Vader was a piece of shit on God. What do you think I meant by that?
I don't know.
Vanda, EliteAri, Vanda. This was a Arcane reference. Somebody sounded like Vanda. The guy she was not selling the droid to sounded like Vanda.
Oh my god,
that was a great joke.
I'm pretty sure that guy's played by Simon Pegg, who's like a famous actor, I think. But yeah,
who plays Vanda in the great series
Arcane?
Yeah,
maybe.
Oh my god, EliteAri, I have a much better. This person was from something else. Do you know what I'm gonna say?
Wait.
In The Force Awakens.
I mean, there's so many. Like, there's the Jojen
Reed
guy.
There's one in particular that's very to us.
Oh, to us?
Let me narrate my note, EliteAri.
Go ahead.
Oh my fucking god, EliteAri! Eleanor's grandmother is in this shitty fucking movie.
Is she?
She's the doctor helping out Chewbacca.
Oh, wait, really? Wait, I don't even.
Yes.
Okay.
There's like an old lady who's like flirting with Chewbacca. It's Eleanor's grandmother, the greatest actress of all time.
Oh man, I have to go back and rewatch that.
Flirt with Chewbacca. You've got to go and look it up. Tab over to Disney Plus and scroll to that point in the movie. I don't remember when it is. It's towards the end of my notes.
There's no way I'm gonna find this. But
wait. God, I freaked the fuck out. EliteAri.
So brave. I'm sure I'll find. Oh, okay. Wait, I see her.
Oh my god.
I can't remember it. There's no way I'm not gonna remember it. I don't know. Is that
Eleanor's grandmother? Tab over into another thing.
Black Sails. Eleanor grandmother.
It's the same.
Oh, it is her. Yeah. Obviously, like different hair.
I
yeah.
freaked the fuck out, EliteAri. I stood out in my chair. I was so excited.
That's so funny.
I was waiting for her to come back in The Last Jedi, but the great Rian Johnson, obviously not seen Black Sails, doesn't know how to use a great actress.
Very true.
Literally just the greatest actress of all time, the greatest scenes of all time. Where was Max? Oh,
not in this. I don't know. Maybe she'll be in the next one. Who knows?
She'll be Rey's lesbian lover. Let's go.
Maybe.
Now, are we on Tatooine? Why is there an ATSD then? Jakku, in fact. So I corrected myself there earlier. I'm figuring things out. The torture thingy is back.
Yes, it was. Yes,
it was like
they got her.
Or something.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's true. And did he give up the information?
I think it's implied that Kylo Ren used the Force thing to extract it from his head.
Yeah, the great Princess Leia would have fought it off.
True.
Poe sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it great how like the first 20 minutes is all about Poe or something? That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm drinking, EliteAri. Say something more.
I don't know. You give me a yes no question and then I say yes. I don't know. Yeah, it was cool. I like
This
cool.
BB-8 guy's cute, more expressive than R2D2.
And what a cool
Now, that
idea
was
for a toy. Like it is a cool idea, isn't it? Like a rolling thing with like a magnetic head, and you can like have a little toy that like moves around. Cool.
Yeah, it's like a magnet. He gets decapitated in the next one, and then he puts it back on. So I guess it probably was a magnet. You're a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like I saw BB-8 everywhere, like in 2015, but I don't feel like I see him anymore. Was he lost with the opinion on these movies, EliteAri? The poor BB-8.
I think people still like BB-8. I don't think BB-8's ruined in the next movie or anything.
I bet they kick BB-8 when they see him in the streets and they say, "You're a Mary Sue."
Well, they did, like I said before. It is a woman. It is a female pronouns for BB-8, by the way. So maybe people are mad at that. I don't know. But yeah.
I guess I don't gender BB-8 that much.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were saying he a bunch.
Maybe
I
was
so offended on BB-8's behalf, but
was I?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a he. Moving on.
All right. Yep.
Now, R2D2, that's a boy, EliteAri. Let's be serious.
Mm-hmm. True.
That's so funny that they gave the droid. I guess that makes sense, right?
I mean, I just heard like J.J. Abrams say that, I think. So I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know how, like, I don't know how.
So Poe's in love with this BB-8. He's always kissing it and stuff. That's funny if they're like bros, but if it's a girl, then he's a little touchy with this droid.
Mm-hmm. True.
Why didn't they put a little bow on it so I could know? That's what they do in Pokemon when they want to distinguish gender. The Lady Marill is going to have a little bow on its tail, EliteAri, so you can figure it out.
Let me look this up. Let me double check this, because I have this in my mind, and I'm like, yeah, it's a girl.
More misinformation, RE. That's what we call him around here.
There's like, the thing is, the narrative around this movie has shifted so much, because obviously people were so excited about this back in the day, and it's like
just
now
like
it's
Abby is trans, EliteAri. They just made it up.
It's very possible. So who is this? An interview with Wired, J.J. Abrams. Okay, so this is all right. Get ready, okay? So, in an interview with Wired, director J.J. Abrams refers to BB-8 as he, while Scanlan, the head of Creature Shop at Lucasfilm, seems a bit more confused. So, J.J. Abrams, he's the director. He said he, so we'll go with J.J. Abrams there. But yeah, I guess I got this.
I don't care about authorial intent. I'll misgender characters as much as I want. Thank you very much.
Well, this is actually kind of interesting. He said the Neil Scanlan guy said, "I'm still not sure, dare I say, whether BB-8 is male or female. BB-8 was female in our eyes, and then she became male. That's all part of evolution, not just visually."
She is a transgender droid.
I don't know. Anyway,
I think he's now a boy, EliteAri. So I've been gendering them correctly.
Yes,
this whole time.
Well done. I am the fool for thinking.
I'm progressive. I do believe in authorial intent.
Mm.
Soy. Now,
right. Yep.
My next note here, EliteAri, says they said clone army ! Now, what the fuck was I talking about there?
I think I vaguely remember them saying, "Oh, they're not a clone army" or something like that, right?
Reference to the great.
Mine is better than a clone army. Like I think Hux was saying, like, "Oh, it's no clone army. We don't have defects like that or anything." I think
True.
Yeah.
Okay, what a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Did they just blow up the Great Coruscant? I have a question mark, but you clarified that that's something else.
Yeah, Hosnian Prime, I think.
So there's a Hosnian, not Prime?
The Hosnian system. I don't know. They blew up the central planet where the government was on, basically. So it doesn't make sense.
Do you want to discuss whether or not system means planet or solar system again, EliteAri?
What a great point. Who knows? Maybe.
We'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
And these last 2 points are about Eleanor's grandmother and Chewbacca's crossbow blaster, which we've already gone over.
Well, I got one.
Force Awakens is dead.
I have one good note here, which is to say, we've had this through line, okay, about lightsabers and how they look. I think it's very clear in this movie, the lightsabers look the best. This is the best the lightsaber have ever looked, all right? I like the way they look in the prequels much more than the original trilogy, but in this one, it's really good. The first appearance where, like, Finn lights it up on Maz Kanata's planet, like, man, that looks good. It sounds good. Oh my god. Kylo Ren's lightsaber obviously looks really good. This probably is the best they have looked. I think in episode 9, they probably do look the best, like, possible that has ever been seen for these lightsabers, but so far, Force Awakens is really good visually.
There is absolutely no difference between any looks of any lightsabers in any of these movies.
Well, the big thing that is done in The Force Awakens is that it interacts with the environment. Like, it literally lights up stuff around it. Like, the blue will go into the environment as they light it up. And it makes a big difference. It does look a lot better. Now, obviously, you know, if anyone has seen the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, I think they take it a bit too far in that one. But in this one, I think it's done well. Good balance.
Remember when that little girl, Princess Leia, is running around in the forest and they just didn't catch her, even though they're grown men?
Yep, that was very silly. All right.
Oh.
Anything else for The Force Awakens?
I felt like Eric from Blind Wave EliteAri, because whenever they would mention Vader, they played his little song. And it's
You
like when
recognize
Eric
that?
from
That's
Blind
crazy.
Wave goes,
oh my god.
this is the Stark mixed with the Lannister mixed with the Greyjoy theme for Theon Greyjoy's internal conflict. That's what Eric would always say.
Yep, there is a cool thing like that when you get to Luke at the end of this movie and it's playing both like the Empire theme and like his theme, and it's like, oh my god, which one is he? Is he good or bad? And we're not going to find out in this movie because he doesn't say anything.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
True, there was a cliffhanger with the great Luke.
Yep. But
They
now
saved him for the end.
we are done with talking about Luke Skywalker because we're going to talk about a prequel, which is Rogue One, a Star Wars story. The first non-saga related film, I guess, directed by someone new, music by someone new, bunch of new actors we haven't seen in Star Wars, just everything's new, basically.
No title crawl.
True, no crawl, just saying Star Wars, whatever, a Star Wars story. Exciting movie. Directed by one of my favorite directors, Gareth Edwards, my goodness. I think every movie I've seen three of his movies.
And thought they were all lame.
Yeah, well, I think the directing of the three I've seen, which is Rogue One, Godzilla, the 2014 Godzilla, and The Creator, which I watched like last year. Those three are really, really well directed movies. A bunch of really cool shots in all of them. So he's a really
there's no good shots in this one. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really cool ones. A bunch of ones that are in trailers that are also not in this movie. That was famous about this movie is that a bunch of stuff was in the trailers that got cut out. But yeah.
I remember watching this movie, the trailer for this movie when it came out and being very confused that it wasn't episode 8. I was like, what?
Yep.
Where's the great Rey?
Yep. I think the trailers for
I think
Rogue One...
probably legitimately was like, why does Rey look different in this trailer? And then I got
crazy.
I probably watched a YouTube video explaining it or something. I had no idea we were cutting away to do something else.
No, I was very excited. I knew all about this. The trailers for Rogue One are the best trailers that I think have ever been made. I think like that first trailer was probably the most excited I've ever been for a trailer.
What about the Watchmen trailer? That's like the best trailer of all time that people say.
I haven't seen it, so maybe it is better. Who knows?
They play the Smashing Pumpkins song. It's pretty cool.
So Rogue One, any overall thoughts before I get into my overall thoughts, Kyle?
I feel like we didn't talk about the plot of the last one enough, Leroy. But there's no going back now. Remember, like Rey, like the Han Solo died. We didn't even talk about that too much. It was so sad.
Yeah, actually, because I guess I said what I think about it. What did you think about that scene? Because it is interesting, right? It's the killing off of like Han Solo, which is controversial, like obviously by the old trilogy fans. It is the kind of Kylo Ren makes like he can't take it back, like it's a permanent decision in his character and everything. It's like
but the whole movie, the next movie is about taking it back, kind of, but then he doesn't do it. So
yeah, I guess that's right. What do you think about this scene? It's a big scene, obviously. It's well directed, I think. Well, what do you think?
Well, it's pretty cool. They're on the freighter, and like this time, I was like, oh my god, this is where it happens. This is crazy. I don't want the great Han Solo to die. I'm so sad. There is a like. And I think this is a more overall point because Luke dies in the next one later. That's just one.
Maybe, yeah.
True. I'm sure he's gonna Force Ghost in the next one. I'm excited.
Yeah, you would think that.
There is something really like upsetting and almost it's not a retcon. It's like it's just retroactive. It like retroactively makes like you sad. I don't know. The fact that like, oh, we're just killing off all the old characters for the new characters, I think is very easy to like rub people the wrong way. And I think if I really did care about I think it's probably more with Luke than with Han. Because with Han, it's kind of like, oh, Han's kind of always walking around like he could die at any time. And you're like, oh, it's going to be really sad when Han... It's like Levi, even though Levi never died. In the whole original trilogy, like the great Han, when he dies, we're all going to be so sad. And so it happens here. I don't know. There is something, it feels... If it was like characters I cared more about, or if I cared more about Luke, I could see it very easily being an emotional thing where you get like radicalized against the movies of like they're just throwing out the old characters and there is an artifice. This is like a Sopranos Boardwalk Empire problem. You might watch these series. I'll be vaguely right.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of the shows, they just start killing off characters a lot, and it's like cowardly because it's like, oh, you just got no more show to write. And so you're like, oh, we can kill off all the characters now. And it feels like cheap because the whole time, because storytelling is like fake EliteAri, you know? It's like made by a person. It's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time when like characters like don't die, there's like a thing of like, it's like the plot armor thing where it's like, Of course, they didn't die. They were not going to die here. And it feels like towards the end of, especially, maybe I did care about Luke Skywalker or something. Towards the end of because I wasn't sure if he died at the end of The Last Jedi. I was probably sure. But the whole time it's like, he has like a reverse plot armor in the movie. And it's like me trying to figure out some way that we can write it so he doesn't die the whole time. So it's like a different type of artifice where it's like, oh, I realize what's happening here. And it's like, oh, we got to get rid of the old characters so we can let the new characters grow or something, which is even thematically brought up in The Last Jedi. And that's kind of like the thematic reality of life in a sense, right? Everybody's going to die at some point. But I don't know, like the ending of Star Wars is like the original trilogy, even though I made fun of like the ending of Return of the Jedi. I got it right at that time later. I'm pretty good. For being like brief and like they just like hug and then it cuts away. There's like a finality in that being like the last you see of those characters and they lived happily ever after, and every problem that came up later they had the Republic to solve and stuff like that. But for you, if you're watching those movies now and you're like you get to that credits thing and then you're like, and then 20 years later Han Solo's own kid killed him, and then Luke just died because he failed that kid. But don't worry, this new girl is going to show up. I don't know, it is like, it's not a cheapening. It's not even like a bad thing inherently. It does like sour it a little bit, but it might not. Like, because they feel so different, I think you could probably like rationalize in a different sense. Like how it's like, oh, it's just like a different thing. You know, don't even think about it. Also, who cares? It's like a fake movie. But also, people probably say this about Joel, huh? What a bunch of pussies. I don't know, there's something about that, and it is, I don't know. It is more into the Boardwalk Empire Sopranos talking point of like, all these characters have like narrowly avoided death and you haven't even had to worry about them being in danger. And then all of a sudden they like get shot out of nowhere because it's the second to last episode and it's like an easy thing to do. Now sounds like I'm critiquing people for being lazy, which I hate when other people do, like calling writers lazy or whatever. Like, you know, you're a little pussy. There's something about that makes it feels off. But then also The Last Jedi kind of won me over by doing the thematic thing of being like, Master Yoda, they always surpass you, and that's what it's like being a master, and you've just gotta move on and fucking
we are
die.
what they grow beyond. Yeah,
something like that. And it's like, oh well, that's like maybe the fact that I feel sad about that is like the point, and that like that's like the melancholy of living, that you're gonna die one day, and the story can't be about the same people forever, and you've got to move on. I know, did I say anything there, EliteAri?
Well, you said two things, I think. One element is that you're saying that if you think about a character when they're younger in this like first original trilogy at the end, you feel like you have this brief moment of like, oh, they're like happy here, but like later on he's gonna die and it's gonna be tragic and like, oh, they don't have a happy ending, whatever. That bothers you a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that at all.
I think that also,
because
that also might be like a disconnected thing, like that, like these movies feel so disconnected later, and it doesn't feel like that obviously was supposed to be the ending or something. But that's another like meta thing that doesn't.
Yeah, I think for me it's more so like I think that would bother me. Like I would feel that way of like, oh, this character like goes on to like die a tragic death or whatever. That would bother me if they didn't get to live like a whole life basically without like that tragic ending, I guess. Like Han Solo is
something
old man
about that
in
makes
this
it
movie.
sadder to me. That is a good detail. It is like I don't know. The fact that like he got killed later is like, oh.
No, that's, to me, I think it's the opposite, like, where it's like he has lived his life. Now he's in like a new stage of his life, and it's like it's okay if he dies now. Like he's using, like, for instance, Han Solo's death here is used. It's not like he just dies.
It's not like Han Solo's sad that he's gonna die, and it's not like he got tortured and then died or something. He's like,
and his death kind of has his death is important. Like it's like for him it's personally important, and also I guess for the story at large it is very important as well. I guess we'll see in the next one, but yeah, it's important. Luke is an interesting case. Because I guess it's like well, we haven't really talked about it, but it seems like he chooses to die in that one, which is like a different kind of, it's not like he dies tragically, it's not like he just dies, it's like he intentionally, for the thematic thing or whatever, but like he chooses to go. So I don't feel it for Luke either. Leia's going to be an interesting example because the actor died, but we'll see what happens with that one.
There's something about, it's like the passing the torch thing. Maybe it is like it ties into like Disney is now in control meta stuff or something. But I feel like this happens even in movies. Like, I don't even think Arrival did this, but it's what comes to my mind where I'm like, oh yeah, Arrival is like this because their like kid dies or whatever in the future or something, and she knows it and doesn't tell him or whatever. Where even that is like, oh, like I want to be happy for Hawkeye's character at the end of this movie, but it's like now in the future he has to go through like his kid dying. Like that's like they should have just let China blow everybody up or something. But even then, like obviously the thematic point of that movie is that like obviously it's worth like your kid living at all, or even just living like 8 years before they die of whatever sickness or whatever. Like that's obviously and it's obviously true. The true part of it might make it even worse, EliteAri. The truth that we're all going to die someday. Maybe that just is maybe that's the morbid curiosity of our kind, EliteAri, and being confronted with it in a narrative sense is scary or something.
How profound! My goodness, spoken like Ryan Johnson himself.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He makes shitty fucking mystery movies. I hate that guy. And
True.
shitty Star Wars movies.
And Looper, a time travel movie.
No, I didn't watch that movie.
And Breaking Bad, 2 episodes of that. One of the best episodes and one controversial episode. Okay.
Did he do the Fly one?
He did, yeah. He was the Fly director.
Oh, that's the one I know.
Okay, I guess that's The Force Awakens now. Okay, I think we've talked about most things there. Next up.
What happened with Rey at the end? She ran away and...
Yeah, she went to Luke, visit him on the island. Yep. Okay. Rogue One is a prequel. Crazy. What do you think? I mean, we generally know.
Isn't it funny? Because this kind of ties into Rogue One, but it's kind of a thingy. Isn't it funny how they go undercover in every single one of these movies?
What's the undercover in the Force Awakens?
Because don't they break into the thing going undercover at some point? I feel like they have to. I think Finn has to do that, right? Yeah, because Phasma gets kidnapped and gang signed on.
You know what? I don't remember. I don't know, actually. I don't remember any undercover stuff in this, but maybe.
Well, they always break in, and they're behind the enemy lines going, we gotta hack down this little thingy and get it down.
Very
Isn't
true.
that funny?
Yeah.
But anyway, what did you ask? Rogue One.
Rogue One, yeah. It's very different.
This movie fucking was absolutely god-awful, terrible for the most of it until the last act, EliteAri. Can you believe it? I don't give a fuck about any of these minute, terrible fucking characters, and I don't want to watch shitty Andor and kill yourself.
Yeah, so I guess I disagree. I think it is consistently very good. I think the end I do like the most. I probably agree with you that the stuff on Scarif is very good. I do like the characters.
Stop saying the planet names, you dork.
Oh, you know, and also character names. We'll name them all, don't worry. Do you remember any of the characters in this? Go ahead. Besides Andor, I guess. But...
The great Andor, the great... Oh my god, you said it before. Jyn Erso.
Oh, well done.
Name.
Yeah.
The shitty fucking annoying-ass droid. What was his name?
K2SO, yes.
What are you... Shut the fuck up, EliteAri.
There's no way you're gonna get that.
You're not giving me the answer. I could have.
All right, go ahead and get the rest.
I won't say anything else. Cool Asian guys. One of them had a gun. I liked that guy better than the idiot with the shitty force powers because I like guns, EliteAri. Oh my god, this pilot guy I completely forgotten. I was almost certain died in that cell or something, but he was a main guy through the whole movie. That was crazy. I didn't remember. Through. I think that's all the characters.
Yeah, probably. I like.
Well, what are their names?
Well, Baze is the guy with the gun. Chirrut Imwe is the blind Asian guy. And then Bodhi Rook is the pilot. But there's also Saul Guerrero, the black guy with the bold black guy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well done. I guess my opinion on these characters. I think I like pretty much all of them. I think Cassian is probably my favorite. Cassian Andor, that's the Andor guy. I think my big issue with Rogue One is Jyn Erso.
He's not cool enough.
No, it's Jyn. That's my issue with this movie. She's not.
Too.
Yeah, she's very boring. And I rarely say this. Is a very rare thing for me to say. I don't know if I've ever said this. I think it's an acting issue.
I hate women.
No, I do think it's an acting thing. Like, there's never her performance seems very stiff. I guess it could be a directing thing. Maybe the director didn't get a good performance out of her or whatever. But there's not a single scene in this where I'm like, oh, she's like showing some emotion here that I feel, or like she's like expressing herself.
I can't even remember a line. I was gonna mock a line, but I was
I mean, there's a lot of famous.
You were gonna kill my father.
Yeah, I don't even remember what's in the movie and what's his trailers, but she's like, this is a rebellion. We rebel or something, or I don't know. She has lines like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jyn is it's a shame because she is the central like character in this and the emotional linchpin of like, oh, she has the story.
These little girls don't like Jyn Erso, EliteAri. I'll tell you that much. They love the great Ryan.
I don't know. You never know. They might one day. I don't know. People like Anakin Skywalker.
No, that's crazy. On God.
Yeah, but that is the one drawback of this movie. All the other characters, I think they have at least one thing where I'm like,
hold on,
I really like.
I'm gonna do a plot recap. All right.
Okay.
To see if I can remember what the fuck happened in this movie. So, at first, there's a flashback, and oh my god, my mommy and daddy died. Kill yourself. Never has anything more generic happened in my life. But the dad isn't dead. Just the mom is dead because she ran back for some reason. I don't know. And then the father figure found her, crazy, but he's also a crazy guy. And then we were on this desert. No, at first we're in Carison.
Huh?
What's it called? The planet with the city.
Oh, Coruscant.
Coruscant. We're on the Great Coruscant, and we're not. I don't know. We're not EliteAri. That was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
But we're on a city that looks like it, and then Andor is over there, like, give me the plans, and then he kills that guy, and it was like, oh, what a cool guy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
how edgy. And then,
well, that is something to say.
Jyn
This
Erso-
movie, it definitely reframes the rebels, right? They are much more ruthless in this. They're not They're not like necessarily good people. They're just fighting for a good cause,
and
I
then
guess.
we do this in the Last
Yeah.
Jedi, and I think
Huh?
I
Do
think
we?
I'm a. Oh well, yeah. Oh no, we don't in the end, right? Because this dumb pink girl was actually good. God, that movie sucks. Ah.
No,
Anyway,
we'll talk about it.
all this moral ambiguity in my Star Wars EliteAri, I don't like it, and I don't like it
That's
here either.
unironically, that is a talking point that everyone talks about. But yeah, we'll get to that.
I'm being unironic.
Mhm.
No, it could have been cool if Kylo Ren and Rey kissed and they decided that you have to be evil and good at the same time, and they were yin and yang in it. That would have been epic. But this, like, I guess they didn't do it with, because that dumb pink girl was actually good in the end, where I was like, oh, she's like infiltrated and she's just like a selfish bitch and she's like now in command and this is terrible and this is like bureaucracy or something. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But then she was just actually the goodest guy in the end. But in this one, I don't know. They're like, oh, I'm a rebel and I got to do whatever it takes because our cause is right, which is true. It's not even moral ambiguity, I guess. I guess that just is a moral action. But I don't know. It felt boring, and I don't know. I don't like this Andor guy at all. He's not cool at all.
It's funny you say that,
sucks.
yeah. I remember thinking the same way the first time. This time I think I like him a bit more. It is night and day though. That show is amazing, and he is like a good part of what makes that show amazing. And it's like there's very little, like when I was watching this movie, I think not once did I think of like that show. Like I know it's like you're meant to think like, oh, it's the same character or whatever, and
it's
it
like
is,
what I was talking about with
like...
Leia and Luke, where it's like, oh, it's like mostly the same guy, but it's not really.
I mean, no, it is that you do feel it. Like it is the same guy, but it's like the show is so disconnected from anything that's happening here that it's like. The reason people like that show is nothing to do with Rogue One, I guess. But yeah.
Well, that's good to hear, but I'm still not watching that movie.
Yeah.
That TV show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the guy with the gun says that Force is stupid, and his little boyfriend is like, the Force is cool.
Yep.
But then he does that chant. That chant's not cool.
I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. And he says that a million times.
It's really cool.
It is that one scene where he's like walking at the end and they aren't shooting. I'm like, man, this is so cool. I do like that.
This kind of ties into this dying point too, where it's like, oh, main character's dying at the end because that's like the point that like, they're all gonna die. But I don't know. It just feels like it's not that it's unearned. It's that it's not given the narrative weight it would be in a movie that hadn't decided that everybody was going to die in the end. Like, it's very quaint how they all die in the end. Whereas if, like, it's not treated the same way how a character that, like, dies out of nowhere in a movie would be treated. Which I guess you would probably say, like, Han Solo is. Yeah, like Han Solo is. But I guess there's, like, an inevitability to all of it. And it's like, like, there's no shock in it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not meant to be surprised that these characters are dying. Maybe you could be surprised Jyn dies, I guess, but
I feel like he could be. Like,
I don't think so.
I don't think
I mean, maybe it's so difficult.
Like I might have had it spoiled.
Yeah, well, going into
but like when they
everyone
start dying one by one, you're probably like, oh. And also, they're not in any of the other movies, so it's like how fucking Jar Jar's not in these movies and he's still alive. God damn it, where is he?
Well, we don't know he's alive. He might be dead.
Maybe in episode 9.
But I'm pretty sure everyone, the meta narrative, like going into this movie, everyone's like, oh, everyone's gonna die in this one. No one makes it out of this. I think people like that was what everyone was knowing beforehand. Maybe. Like maybe even the directors talked about that. I don't know, but that was a big thing going into this. But yeah, I think it's cool. I think everyone gets their moment at the end, and I feel the emotions of their death. Like I think every single one landed for me, except for maybe Jyn.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like I do get it. It is like but it's not. I don't know.
We'll
flesh out this at some point in the future, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so just to sidestep a bit, this is the first Star Wars movie that doesn't have the soundtrack made by John Williams. This is by Michael Giacchino.
I totally noticed it, bro. I totally noticed it.
I guess I can't, like, I don't, if you told me this was John Williams, I'd be like, oh yeah. Like, I can't really tell a composer apart, but it was good. I really liked the music in this. It always stood out. Like, every time it would play something, I'm like, man, that's a good song right now. I don't have too much to say on it.
I remember when they played Darth Vader's theme when he came out.
That's a John Williams track. Okay, so we don't care about that. We care about the new music. Okay.
Hum a new one, and then I'll hum an old one, and we'll see who lasts longer.
I don't know if I could hum any of them. Okay.
Exactly, I win.
Yeah. Anyway, I can hum from the sequels though. Like in the Ray's theme is pretty. I like that a lot. I didn't even mention that. Ray's theme is amazing. It's basically the song that's playing the whole time in that opening scene or opening like few scenes where she's like on Jakku by herself, and it's like, oh, this is great. It like fits the tone of what's going on here.
Maybe I would remember it if I heard it, EliteAri, but I don't right now.
Dun 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 dun. It goes like that. It's really good.
Maybe that sounds familiar.
Yeah. What about Kylo Ren? It's like dun 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 dun. You know that one. Come on. No. All right.
Maybe.
We'll pay attention in the next one. Anyway. Okay. What do we want to talk about? I don't know. There's.
I got 25% battery somehow, EliteAri. What the fuck is going on? How long have we been going?
An hour and a half, so not that long. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
The
Let me just say, Saw Gerrera, great, memorable character, good performance. He has like 2 lines I've quoted here. He says, lies, deception. I'm like, man, I like the way he delivers those lines. And save the rebellion, save the dream. And I'm like, this is good. I like this character.
That's the famous one. I remember that from the trailer.
It is, and I think I like it.
Media make fun of that one a lot.
Yep,
that's why I remember.
They just don't know what a good line is, of course. Like, this is an amazing line, great delivery. It's amazing.
I did like that little city they had on that rock there, and then they had a shootout in it. Oh, shootouts are so cool.
Mm-hmm. Very good. There's also Director Krennic is in this, the Imperial guy with the white cloak. Looks cool. I like him. He's kind of interesting in that he's like, I don't know, he's like not, he's obviously unambiguously evil, like all the time.
He just wants credit, EliteAri.
No, but what is like, do you know what I mean? He's like acting is like, he's like a villain in like all of his actions and everything he says, but the way he acts is not like a villain. It's like, it's different. I like it. It's really cool.
It's like a charismatic villain guy.
Yeah, who is like always like villainous, but like doesn't seem that way. I don't know. It's cool. Krennic's cool.
It is funny because he's obviously framed as like annoying and a bad guy. So like you can get some sort of like that Grand Moff Tarkin's so smart, bro. That's why we respect him so much. That's why Vader likes him, and that's why we like that Vader likes him. And it's, so he can like win in the end. And it's like that loser new guy sucks. It's like, oh, clever.
Yeah.
Speaking of it, EliteAri, I remember not even knowing that Grand Moff Tarkin was a character and not even recognizing that he was CGI when I saw it the first time. And so when everybody talked about it, I thought they were all stupid. And let me tell you something, this guy looks like a video game character in this movie, EliteAri. What a silly guy.
I think he looks fine. It's like, I'd say he's like 70% of the way there, where I'm like, oh yeah. If you didn't like, if you didn't tell me, I'd be like, oh yeah, I can't tell. But like, yeah, obviously if you know, then you're going to pay attention. It does look like a, I think it's not the, I think it's more the animation of it. Like the way he's like moving and stuff is more the tell, I think.
Yeah, it's like the mouth.
Yeah.
But I know the face was a little weird too.
Yeah, a little bit. I'd say it's not perfect. I think the layer at the end was really good. That didn't stick out to me as anything like different.
That was true.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously the best thing they've ever done is Luke. But,
I couldn't believe it at the end. I was like, oh my god, we end on the Darth Vader soy moment. And then there's an even more soy Leia moment. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cute.
True. The Vader thing does. I was a bit worried. I was gonna be like, "Oh, it's not gonna last. It's gonna be cringe now." No, it was great. Vader scene just as good.
Oh my god, EliteAri, how disappointing! I remember it being like 5 minutes long of them like passing the thing back and forth through multiple chambers, but it's just one.
Yep.
And I was like, oh,
it's quick.
I was actually let down. I was like, oh, I thought he like tore through a whole ship, but he's like, it's like 30 seconds long.
Yep, I loved it. It's great. The music's great. The acting's great. Everything's great. Showing how powerful he is and everything. However, I do have to say, Vader feels completely unnecessary in this movie. When he showed up in the first scene, I was like, "Oh, why is Vader in this?" Like,
soy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be surprised if because I know there's like reshoots in this. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he just wasn't in this in the initial cut, because it's like he is like tangentially in this movie, and it feels a bit weird when he is, but it's fine. You know, I liked his ending scene, so it was all worth it.
But EliteAri, like the first hour and a half of this movie is fucking dog shit, right?
No, I do like it. Because I think you don't like
Jyn Erso's dad.
I do like Jyn Erso's dad, Galen Erso. Yeah, I think he's good.
And we're on a planet.
Unironically, I just don't like Jyn.
And we were only 40 minutes into this movie. Oh my god.
Yeah, I like it.
That was a problem with The Last Jedi too.
I do think
the timer all the time, being like, how long is there left in this fucking movie?
It is the longest.
But then the last 40 minutes was fun, and I didn't check it once.
Yeah,
that's true for both these movies.
I did write a note specifically as I was watching Rogue One, and I said, "Do you remember the scene where they're like on the planet where Galen Erso is working on, and it's like rainy and stuff, and there's like mountain ranges and remember that planet?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I've been thinking of the whole time when I've been thinking about boring. Is
yeah.
that planet
So
with the rock and the rain and how it goes on forever.
yeah, so the note I wrote, I said, the rainy setting on that Imperial planet is really cool. This has been the most engaging scene in the movie so far. So I really like that. That was a really fun scene. I did enjoy that scene. I was very engaged. I was on the edge of my seat. What's going to happen? Oh my God. So yeah, I was definitely into it.
He didn't let the scientists die, but then they died anyway. That was crazy.
Indeed.
And then he got blown up and he died.
Yep. So cool.
What a great character moment. Mother and the son and father, daughter, and you know what I'm talking about. EliteAri had in that moment. You know?
Yes, the great Jyn Erso had an acting moment, and it was not good, but that's okay.
What's she been in? I think she was Black Cat in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Is that the girl? Let me check. Felicity Jones.
No
I feel like this is right.
Yeah, that is.
I'm a fucking genius, EliteAri. Oh, she was in The Brutalist. That's up for the Oscar this year, EliteAri. The Theory of Everything, because Stephen Hawking's
that's right.
wife.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, she plays Ruth Bader Ginsburg in her biopic movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's I added that to my watch list when I saw that. That was crazy. You know, I want to learn about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Remember when Donald Trump said that thing after she died? Crazy.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
She's been in a bunch of things.
True.
I bet she's a great actress, EliteAri.
Yep.
And you're gonna eat your words.
Yep. I mean, she might be. I don't know. Anyway,
then we'd have to blame it on this shitty Garth Edwards you like, EliteAri. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Or we can blame it on like whoever wrote the script, which maybe it was him. Actually,
I have a point about that later, EliteAri.
Oh, that's what I was just about to say. Maybe is it the same one about the Last Jedi? Maybe not.
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay.
Should I do my? Maybe I'll just do this now, EliteAri.
Go ahead.
One of the co-writers for this is Gary Whitta, who is literally on Kind of Funny podcasts all the time,
really?
And is just an ex-games journalist that they all like know. And when I saw him in the credits, I was like, it's not like the Gary Whitta guy. And then I remembered that they said something vaguely about this one time, where it's like, oh yeah, when they introduce him on the shows, he's like, oh, co-writer of Rogue One or something. And I was like, they're joking, right? But he actually wrote Rogue One. It's like crazy. He's just like a guy. Like he don't like my conception of him up until this point was he's just like a dumb guy on like the Kind of Funny shows. Like he's actually like annoying and like I don't like his opinions ever. And it's like he wrote this fucking movie. Why is he not rich? Why is he here? What is he doing? It's very funny, but yes, Gary Whitta, one of the writers.
It is interesting you say that because that name it does ring a bell to me. I think there was like a lot of discourse surrounding.
Yeah, he's not a writer; he's the story guy. Like he made the story.
But I think he was.
But he's like the third guy in the credits. It's like crazy.
I think if I could be completely wrong and misremembering, because Rogue One had a lot of controversy before it came out about like reshoots and like Gareth Edwards, like a new director came in, Tony Gilroy took over for like the reshoots and stuff. And I think like recently, like he was trashing Gareth Edwards, and now recently, like in the last year, I think Gareth Edwards came out and was like, oh, what didn't exactly turn out how he said, and I don't want to like trash talk and blah, blah, blah. It's like a whole drama around Rogue One. I think Gary Whitta was like, I don't remember, but I think there was like an original script, and maybe he was like the original script and they came and basically replaced the whole thing or something. And I think he was mad about it.
That'd be funny.
But I could be completely
wrong. He would
wrong.
definitely have an opinion on that and would say something about it because he is like a retarded guy. I don't know. He's fine, but whatever. Like you remember how you were mad that everybody was saying that Elon did that Nazi salute or whatever? Yeah. He was on Kind of Funny just talking about it at the beginning of one of their game show, and he went on about it for like 5 minutes about how he just did a Nazi salute. So. Oh
wow! All right.
Just to give you a thing about how you would think he was just so smart.
I'm pretty sure I've seen an interview with him on like Rebel Force Radio like 10 years ago, maybe, but.
Like it's funny, the Kind of Funny guys don't even. He's just on Kind of Funny Games Daily, which is always just like there's two people talking about the gaming news. They don't even put him in the title, like it's a big deal that he's there. He's just there. It's like funny. Now they don't do that with anybody, but still, it's like like they would. He's
a celebrity. Oh my god,
yeah. He wrote a Star Wars movie, like a movie that probably made like $1 billion. That's crazy.
Yep.
But very funny. That I was shocked.
An excellent fact. Kind of. My fun fact was going to be that I'm pretty sure. Now, actually, I was going to say I'm pretty sure that The Last Jedi is the only movie that's like both directed and written by the same guy, which is like obviously Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
But I think episode 9, I think JJ probably rewrote that whole thing, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, crazy. Back to Rogue One. I just have a few notes. I don't quite. What do you want to talk about? I have miscellaneous notes, basically.
Well, I only have notes. I literally my entire memory of this movie is this is the worst movie of all time. Then I love shooting.
Why don't you
So
talk about some of your favorite things at the end of this movie? What did you like so much?
I remember when they got behind crates and shot at each other. I remember when that dumb fucking robot died. I remember when they the AT-STs or whatever, the AT-ATs came
Yes.
down, and that was cool. But they weren't quite the strongest ones because they went down and they looked a
Yeah,
little
I think
different,
they're
and they had the
technically not
gold.
called. Yeah, not the same thing.
Shut up, nerd.
What about when they're like?
All the shooting was cool.
What about
Oh, the
when?
one guy that I forgot was in the
Oh boy.
movie. He's in the ship the whole time, and then he's got to go out and do this thing, and then his ship explodes, and he's so cool, and he's talking back and forth, and they got to get through the gate, and they got to crash into it
True.
to get through, and
Yep.
they've all got to figure out that they did it, even though they were rogue ones because they left and they weren't
Mm-hmm.
supposed to. And they all show up, and then that guy is freaking out on the top of the thing because how did they all get in here? And it was the best plot where they infiltrated and stuff.
Yep.
Oh, what a great
I do like the
last
scene.
act,
Like, yeah, I do like the scene where you've got Krennic in the tower and is looking out and there's like explosions going everywhere. And it's like, oh my God, what's happening? There's only 10 people here. And they say 10 men.
So
Make 10 men feel like 100. I'm like, oh my God, I'm really feeling it here. There is like 100 men here.
Oh yeah, let's go. We can do it. We can fight in wars, EliteAri. Let's go.
Yep.
Now, how much EliteAri do you think this movie is only good because it's on a beach? Because you know how I am, EliteAri. You put a beach in it, it's a 10 out of 10. All my favorite Pokemon episodes just happen to be the beach episodes, and everything like it's not a bias. I don't think so, EliteAri. So that's probably a big deal. I'm just saying we've never seen a cool beach in Star Wars before.
Maybe it is
Seems
possible.
weird that beaches are in Star Wars, a little bit. But then in the Last Jedi, we're on a little island near the ocean. Oh, we had an ocean, and Boba Fett's dad was there.
True. Yeah, a whole ocean planet. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the beach is important.
Oceans suck. We don't like oceans, EliteAri. Oceans are scary and scary.
Did you talk about the hammerhead ramming the ship into the other ship? That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. And then they brought hammerheads into the Last Jedi and pretended they'd been there the whole time. That was crazy. Just straight up copying Rogue One.
Very true, but not true.
True, that was all cool. Maybe we should go through the notes though, EliteAri.
I have one note just to talk about. Wait, which is I do like. I like the Bodhi Root character. Very small characterization, but it sticks with me throughout it. And his like death, it like it makes me.
Is that the guy with the gun?
No, it's the pilot guy. He has the one. Basically, his entire characterization is about. It's all off screen, kind of, but he's like a rebel. He's a whatever you call it, an Empire like pilot or whatever.
He left.
Yeah, like but then he has the one scene where he's like in like Saw Gerrera's place, and he's talking about his backstory with Galen and how Galen told me I could make a difference and I could. This is the moment where I choose to be a good person or whatever. And it like really got to him, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. And then at the end,
he's a Kylo Ren clone.
Yeah, but I guess he came like before the Kylo Ren stuff, but he happened to at the end, he like achieves the mission and he's like, oh, this one is for you, Galen. And I'm like, oh, this is like so cute. He's like dying. He like did what he wanted. He proved that he was like a good person to himself, and he like feels happy about it, and he dies. And I'm like, oh, I feel this,
I thought he died like unceremoniously.
He did, but he basically connected the tower so they could get the communication out. He like takes the moment to like calm down and like recites the speech of like what's going on, and then a grenade gets thrown in there and he just blows up. But before that, he's like, this is for you, Galen. And it's like, oh, like he feels content in this moment of death, and I'm like, this is great. The small character like kind of landed with a big emotion.
I didn't think he was content. I thought he was a bit surprised.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the first character that died, I think.
Maybe I don't remember.
And then you're like, oh, this is where we're all gonna die. This is sad.
Anyway, great ending to a character. Anyway, your notes.
Your mother's a great ending. That's what Poe Dameron said. Was that Leia's father? Am I supposed to be soying? I was soying, EliteAri. Who am I kidding here? There's some prequel baiting. Big city pretending the Senate exists. Oh yeah, they're still pretending in Rogue One that the Senate exists.
Well, it does.
Just to connect that at the beginning of A New Hope, they say the Senate is no longer a thingy.
It's so exciting.
How fucking stupid. Because I was looking for it, Tarkin looks bad. Crazy. Acting's not my favorite. That's just the whole note, EliteAri. That's pretty funny. The robot annoys me on God. True. EliteAri, defend this robot, I dare you.
It's like it's humorous, obviously, but like it's not over the top humorous. Like,
it's not funny.
Yeah, it's like played straight. I don't know. It's fine. Like I like it. It's fine. It's like somewhat funny, but like not too funny, and it doesn't.
But why do I hate him? Like he's mean to Jin Erso. Why do I give a fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
His dumbass voice annoys me, maybe. The shooting and little groups of people is still the coolest part. Already said that. So is this lava planet the lava planet, EliteAri? We were on a lava planet at some point. Was it the lava planet?
I'm fairly sure it is, but like, obviously it's not confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be Do you know what the name
The great
is?
battle hacker. Oh. Nah. Am I
All
right?
right, it's
It's not
Mustafa.
Naboo, I know that
Yeah.
one. Oh.
Mm.
Mustafa.
Yep.
It's a weird name. What's the other N planet from the prequels? It's not Naboo.
Oh, I was gonna say Naboo. I don't know. What is with an N? I have no idea.
What's the ocean one?
Camino. I don't
Fuck.
think there is another N one.
What's the...
Maybe. I don't, that's a thing for the
No,
comments
there
to let us
was. I
know.
remember it because I fucked them up.
Mm-hmm.
Necros and Nurse.
Oh, Necros Lacrosse, the Mushoku Tensei character from Light Novel 25. I don't know. Maybe that's who you're thinking of.
Well, I nearly said Necrozma, the Pokemon, you fucking idiot.
Mm.
Now, what a soy title drop. Oh, and they're calling them rogue people. Now, what lava... Oh, is Darth Vader on the lava planet? Tell me it ain't so, EliteAri.
He is, yeah.
Oh, EliteAri. We love Revenge of the Sith here, EliteAri. Why are
Mm.
you not soying out right now?
Because they're cowardly and they didn't put that it was Mustafar in like a little credit thing like they do for every other planet in this thing. So I don't
Oh,
know.
and the credit pops up and it looks all pixelated because fucking Disney Plus sucks. Jesus
Yep.
fucking Christ.
Mm.
The character relationships are terrible, EliteAri, and I even have EliteAri written out there.
Oh my goodness.
Leia and Obi-Wan reference was soy, was actually good soy. So this
Mm.
is when he's like, your Jedi friends, the greatest moment of all time.
Yep.
I'll C-3PO and R2-D2 are here for a shot, EliteAri. Wasn't that a little soy?
Yep. They
That
have
was
to be
not
in every
good soy,
movie.
I don't think. Darth Vader's so scary on God. There's nothing he can do whenever he shows up. This is something I think I used to say in the original trilogy thing we did, where every time Darth Vader goes, if you were teleported, your mind and spirit Mushoku Tensei style, to one of those little rebel guys, Leary, you're fucking dead. There's nothing you can do.
Now there is
Leia
something.
Soy, Barry
There
Winner.
is
That's
one
all I know.
interesting thing to say, which is to me it feels like Vader's unnecessary in this movie. However, going into this movie, it was a very different mindset because I've seen Vader a million times now after this. Like he's in a million cartoon things and he's in live action
Obi-Wan.
things. It's like he's in everything basically, and I hear him. He's in so many things. But back then, that was the first time that Disney was going to show us Darth Vader. Like, he's back. They're using the same voice actor. They got, like, the same suit. I think Hayden Christensen was even, like, in the suit at some point, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he was the guy in the tank. I don't know. But it was like, oh, my God, this is a big deal. He's coming back. So it felt like it's a different feeling going into it than it is now, where it's like, I've just seen him. It's not special anymore. Like, this is one of the worst, like, appearances.
Moment at the time, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's a product of its time, yeah.
He does... It is, like, terrible. Like, there is an absolute disconnect between Darth Vader and the prequel Anakin. Like, they are not the same character in my head at all. Like, when this guy shows up, it's like, oh my God, it's been so long since we've seen anything from this guy. It's like, he's at the end of Revenge of the Sith, but he's not. Because it's the voice. It's too different. I hate it. It's
It is interesting.
Make him sound like Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, I guess. Like
obviously, which one came first?
Yeah.
First?
Jesus. Other things
like
do this.
Jewish thing I just did?
Yeah, well done.
Crazy.
Other things do it better.
I promise.
Okay. Obi-Wan has a scene where he's fighting and Anakin does come out, and it does, you do feel the connection there, because obviously Hayden Christensen is playing the actual like guy inside the suit, and you like
maybe
see
I'll watch
him
the
and,
scene later.
Yeah, you could. Okay? It is like a standalone scene, and it does feel like I see the overlap here, because it's a younger Vader. You see Hayden Christensen inside. He's got the voice. He sounds like the other Anakin too. It's like a mix. You feel it well there. However, also Well, I was going to say, however, also, the Clone Wars and Rebels do it incredibly well because they have the same voice actor. Not necessarily the same voice actor for Vader, but the voice comes out of, like, the Vader suit at a particular moment. And it's like, man, this is the same character. And it's like, wow, this is crazy. You really feel it. But yeah, in this movie, yeah, I see what, yeah, it's like, it is different.
Because all the emotion comes from, like, Anakin, right? Like, I assume most people don't think that, right? They're just like, oh, Anakin's fake or whatever. But it's like...
Huh?
Darth Vader in the original, well, because everybody hates the prequels, right? So when they think of Darth Vader, the bad part is the Anakin part, not the Vader part. But to me, like, the bad part is the Vader part of, like, there's no, like, it's not like, oh, this is the great Vader who has a moment of redemption at the end of Revenge of the whatever the fuck the original third one is. It's like, oh, it's like that Anakin, he just wants his girlfriend back. But, like, neither of them really work. Like, Darth Vader is obviously just evil until, like, the third movie in the original trilogy. Maybe you can argue he's a little bit in the second one or something. But, like, here he's just back in evil mode where we're pretending it's A New Hope, even though A New Hope is retconned by the end of its own trilogy. Nothing in Star Wars is planned out, EliteAri. It all falls apart if you think about it too hard. Moving on.
Yep. And that's why the Clone Wars is so great. One planned out story, beginning to end. We love it.
but it's
Okay.
in between two other stories that I already saw.
True. Okay. Anything else about Rogue One? I'm sure there's
No, I
something.
like shooting.
Death
I hate
Star,
characters.
cool. What about, did you soy out when the Death Star was shot? I thought it was cool.
It showed up and it was in the vision, and I didn't soy out in the moment, but the 2 times you've recalled it, I have soyed out internally a little bit, so maybe it was good.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh, and his own weapon got used on him. Isn't that crazy?
How
Leary? What a little...
ironic. My goodness.
That's some arcane level writing right there.
Yep. I think that's it. I think we can now
God, Arcane
move
fucking
on
sucks.
to
God
The Last
damn.
Jedi, directed and written by Rian Johnson, the famous Rian Johnson. What a name.
Rian Johnson sucks. I hate everything he's ever done.
Mm-hmm. He did direct the best episode of Breaking Bad, 10 out of 10 on IMDb. But yeah, so The Last Jedi, obviously the most controversial Star Wars movie of all time, maybe the most controversial movie of all time, who knows.
I was so disappointed at EliteAri immediately. Like the phone call, I was like, oh no. Like there's no way this movie could be one of my favorites. Like even in the great movie that you love a lot, EliteAri, The Great Polite Society.
Oh boy.
You know, at the beginning, every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of cringe at the beginning of this, but you just get used to it after about 5 minutes if you're not a retard like EliteAri, and then you love it. And it's like, that's a 5-star movie to me, EliteAri. So it's possible maybe it could have come back from the brink here, but it's just like, well, this is horribly unfunny and very annoying and thinks it's being clever, and I hate everything about it. It's like, oh no, this isn't going to be the best Star Wars movie, is it? But then I was kind of falling in love with the idea of thinking not Rogue One, but Force Awakens was my favorite because people don't say that. So, you know, I was kind of okay with it, as I am now. But, EliteAri.
Yes.
Oh, no. Like, I love subversions, EliteAri, but none of, like... This is going to sound like the most generic internet criticism thing I've ever said, EliteAri. You ready?
Go ahead.
But, like, the subversions didn't lead anywhere. It just led back to the generic thing happening. So it was, like, completely pointless and boring. Like, oh...
Okay. I am curious what...
Kylo Ren killed Snoke, whatever his dumb name is, but then he's just a bad guy anyway. And he's a really evil bad guy towards the end. Can you believe it? And it's like, well, who gives a fuck if he killed shitty Snoke then? Never mind. Moving on, EliteAri. What are you going to say?
Well, just about the Snoke thing. I think that feeds well into Kylo's character, though. Because well, I guess maybe I'm informed.
It's like retarded.
No, maybe I'm a bit informed by the next movie, though. No, because I think that the subversion of Kylo's character, I think, is that you're meant to... Firstly, there's like... Okay, I don't even know where to start on this, but... I think the point of this movie for Kylo Ren is that at the end, he's sad and lonely. He has no one. Even Rey, like, turns her back on him. Like, when they have the Force connection, she, like, shuts it off. And I think that fact that he thought that after he killed Snoke, he would be free and have, like, all the freedom of the world. And now he's just, like, he has no one. He doesn't even have a master anymore. He has no one to guide him. He's all alone. I feel like that is the subversion.
The shadow was... he doesn't have the shadow anymore. The shadow's all he had, EliteAri.
Yeah, yes, yeah, kind of. But it's like he's not like in control at the end of this movie. He's like lost everything. I think that's more the subversion.
Fuck this, EliteAri. I want EliteAri to know that I do think about that dumb book he showed me, the audiobook, all the time. And it is like the coolest Darth Vader thing of all time.
It is, yeah, unironically. Yeah.
The narrating is like really cool.
Yeah,
it sounds like the dramatic narratings like that happen for the Game of Thrones books that I think about all the time.
Yep.
Like that one Tower of Joy thing that I listen to all
British
the time.
Man narrating,
it's like the same guy. Oh my goodness, and it's so dramatic. Oh, anyway.
Okay. Anyway, what were we saying? Oh, the first thing. Wait. Sorry, that's subversion. Before that, though, I have to say I completely agree about the comedy. The comedy is my #1 criticism of this movie. It ruins it for me. Like, I still like this movie a lot, but the comedy is the one thing I can't forgive. There's no reason for it. I don't like it. I have like a bunch of jokes here that I want to list off that I don't like. #1, I've already said this before, but all the Hux stuff, Hux's character was basically, used as a butt of a joke, and many times the prank call being dragged around by like a ragdoll, copying what Kylo's saying, and like, everything is. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I hate movies that want to, because it's kind of like, by 2017, and because Rian Johnson did this in Knives Out too, he's like making fun of like alt-righters with this, like, oh, the Nazi guy is like a retarded bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not like even a good way to make fun of like alt-righters, and it's so annoying. And I guess I was going to say movies always do this, but I think it might just be Knives Out that I'm thinking of. But it's just like a soy defensive, like, well, you don't even get pussy, bro, response. It's like, this isn't the like, oh, that's not, you're not even going to affect them by insulting them that way. You gotta understand them better to get to them better. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Again, it's like I nearly screamed this over you before, but it's like subversions from somebody that doesn't understand why subversions are cool. It's like literally just not doing the thing, and it's like, well, that's not the thing. The thing is to not do the. But it's just the surface level subversion of like Luke throws the lightsaber away and like, oh, okay, well, you didn't expect him to do that, but he's still like the good guy that shows up and like obviously the generic thing for Luke to do is like, oh, he's like mean or whatever, but then at the end he believes again. It's just still what happens. Like, have Luke. Now, I know he did go a little far with Luke. You know, he tried to kill Kylo Ren. That's kind of crazy. Oh my God, EliteAri. I was going through it, and because I thought people just hated the. Well, I'm jumping around, EliteAri. I thought people just hated the Luke portrayal in this movie because he was like mad about stuff, and Luke would never be mad about stuff, and he would never throw the lightsaber. I somehow had never heard that he tried to kill Kylo Ren just because he was mad in a fit of anger or something. I have to assume that's why people are actually mad, and I was like, well, that doesn't seem very Luke-like. So I'm even empathetic to these people now.
Oh,
EliteAri, this is not working out how I want it all.
Okay, we're back. Kyle's on his phone now. So yeah, go ahead, Kyle. What were you saying?
Yippee! Woohoo! Yippee! Do you think my cool young Anakin sound effects sound good over this microphone?
I'm sure people are loving it right now, yeah.
Now, I was in the middle of screaming about something, EliteAri, but I've been doing that the whole time, so that doesn't help, huh?
Subversions is what you were talking about, I think.
He's a retard, this Rian Johnson. It's like, oh, teasing doing something interesting, but we all end up in the same generic shitty place in the end. It sucks.
But you said you liked the ending of this movie.
Well, no, it was engaging.
Okay, which makes it good. I don't know.
You know what I did like, unironically? Hold on, this is a Rian Johnsonism. At the end, when she has to literally lift rocks, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
That was a good gag. Yeah, we like that.
Now I feel it, but the first time they say that, when it's like, oh, he's such an internet loser, EliteAri, because it's just the things people say on the internet. The Force, you know, it's so undefined. You just lift rocks or something and have a little dumb sword and stuff. Aren't we so funny? We're so, but it's like normal people that are watching these movies haven't ever had these thoughts. He's catering to a niche group of internet losers that think he's literally the Antichrist, that he thought he was going to win over, EliteAri. He's an idiot.
Kind of, but I also think I think everyone knows the Force, and everyone, the generic audience, just thinks that, right? They just think, oh yeah, it's like they can like move stuff.
They would giggle. I'm thinking about my mother right now, EliteAri. I'm sure she's been forced to watch Star Wars by my father, by the way, EliteAri, loves the original trilogy. Never mentioned that, but you know, it's very funny.
Yeah.
He even wanted to show, like, I watched the first one with him one time, and then I was watching the second one by myself in my room one time, and he got upset that I wasn't watching it with him, which is my father is the most like stoic person of all time. For him to like a kiddie movie like this at all is very funny, and for him to be mad that I wasn't watching it with him, also very out of character. So all very weird. This is might be why I hate Star Wars. You know, it ruins the mythos of my father. Now, why did I bring that up, EliteAri? Oh, I'm thinking about my mother, EliteAri, sitting in a theater. If she heard that joke, she would laugh at it, but she's never thought about that before. I guarantee it. So refuted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she would, the general audience would think, yeah, the Force is about moving stuff with your mind, and this is going to educate them about how that's not what the Force is or whatever, right? I don't get the problem.
No, but the joke is like the self-awareness of like, isn't the Force kind of stupid? And I know that because, you know, I'm not an idiot like George Lucas, and I'm here to write a modern take on Star Wars where anybody can have the Force. Like, it's the narrative behind it that, like, where the joke comes from that pisses me.
Yeah, I understand, yeah. But there's I don't know, kind of, yeah. Because what I'm thinking is,
because even his humor reflects, like, that attitude where it's like this is how movies are supposed to go, but I'm a great movie writer over here. I sound like a generic YouTuber.
No, sir. I can agree with you in some aspects, but some of the time what you're saying doesn't land. Like, examples of where it does land for me are, for instance, when Luke throws the lightsaber over the shoulder. When it's like kind of making fun of
like that.
Well, to me, it's making fun of the fact that you thought this was important, but like it's actually not, and we're not gonna we're going a different way. Yeah. We're subverting what you wanted, and now we're gonna give you what you didn't want, and you're gonna like it. And the joke is like, oh, you place so much importance in this, but Luke doesn't care about it. Like, I don't like it there. For that reason, where it feels like the author is like transparent. And I think I generally can agree with your thing about the Force moving rocks and stuff. I see what you mean there. But in other cases, I don't think like beyond there, I don't know if it bothers me in anything. What else does it like? For instance, the Snoke thing doesn't bother me at all. I actually kind of like that. The Snoke thing, we'll talk about it next movie. That bothers me a lot more than it did in this movie. Like this movie, I think it's fine what happens in this. If this was like where the Snoke story ended or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, this is like I like it.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought it was just revealed that Palpatine was like a Snoke clone or something, but I don't know. Now EliteAri's implying that something else is happening, so that's crazy. How exciting!
I'm trying not to
Now
imply anything, but yeah, we'll see next time.
what were we saying before that?
Subversions. I like some of them. Some of them I don't. Jokes, I like them. Some I
Oh,
don't.
the Snoke thing is fine. Like they're two different issues, I think. The subversion's not ending up in the places, like still ending up in boring places. I think is now this could even now we're like narrativizing bullshit here, but that could even be like a Disney outline where like everybody like Kylo Ren has to be the big bad guy by the end of this movie to set up the ninth movie, and Rey has to and Luke has to die by the end. So maybe he was pigeonholed into that, so we couldn't actually do subversion.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I know this is not. I'm saying this is a different thing to what we're talking about right now, which is the comedy aspect is like a self-awareness thing. Because that's other one, the subversion thing is like a frustration. Like that's why I'm screaming like,
the Snoke thing. The Snoke thing is a joke as well, right? The Snoke is making fun of the people who cared about the Snoke, who he was, and everything.
But we're talking about different jokes here. We're talking about like how it's like ironic versus like ha funny. Like these are two different things.
Snoke dying is a ironic, like he's making fun of the fanboys. That's what Snoke dying is. It's not like a funny
kind of, yeah.
No, that is what it is.
But even
like, in
then,
my opinion, yeah.
The subversion more so to that for me is like that he's doing like the most generic villain monologue, and like he's like we all know that Kylo's going to turn on him now because he's saying he's going to kill his true enemy and stuff, and then it makes you think that like something else is going to happen here, but then something else doesn't happen, and that's like the subversion there. It's unironically the subversion is there's no subversion, but
yeah, we're talking different things like entirely.
Yeah.
I'm saying that Snoke's death, Snoke's reveal, because everyone before going into this movie thinks that Snoke is going to have an interesting backstory. It's like, who is this guy that's taken over?
Yeah.
And the subversion is that he's no one, and that's like, you were a fool for thinking that.
Well, they also do that with Kylo like Rey, right?
Where they're like, well, that's the other one as well, where it's like, you're from no one, you're nobody, and that's again making fun of the people who cared about it. Yeah, and it ties in with the Force as well, where it's like, well, actually,
I don't get them making fun of it there. Like, I think that's just like I'm not doing what J.J. Abrams did, like disconnected thing. Like, I don't think that's like making fun of anybody. Like, I don't think that's like a joke at all. I think that's just like both of them.
Okay, the Snoke thing, it feels pretty clear to me. Like when what do you think is the Snoke thing? The fact that Snoke doesn't have a backstory or anything. What do you think's going on there?
Well, I just think it's like we're going in a different direction. It is, I don't know, what is a subversion versus what is a twist? Like that feels more like a twist to me.
Okay, interesting. To me, it feels like, okay, wait, let me think.
Idiot, you thought this was going to be important, but this isn't what actually matters. What actually matters is the internal conflict with these two characters, Kylo Ren and Rey.
No, I was trying to think of another example. I do think maybe the Hux thing is the most obvious thing, where it's like he's making fun of people who would think that Hux is cool. Or do you not agree with that? Like by demeaning Hux in this and kind of using the prank call on him and dragging around like a ragdoll and everything, it's kind of like if you thought that this guy was kind of cool in the last movie, it's like he's making fun of that, right? Or not? You don't think
the vibe? No, I don't think that either. Even though I was saying the alt-right thing, it is like that is like a part of it. But I think a part of it is just that like he's a victim of trying to make the movie funny, and there was not really any thought put into like, like we need to like protect this character's like ethos or something. I feel like Hux is I don't know. Because I guess I think maybe I was saying earlier that like I feel like a lot of the making fun of Star Wars jokes is like very like surface level like layer 2 stuff if we're going back to Minty over here, where it's like it is like the Force is weird and you don't even understand it, bro, and it's whatever the plot wants, so you just lift rocks and you whatever the fuck. And there's other jokes like that too.
I think the clearest joke would be like
when
Luke goes to Rey and he's like, "What did you expect me to do? Go with the laser sword and fight the First Order?"
Yes, or whatever? Yes. I think I can do that one too. Yep.
But that to me feels like
terrible.
Well, to me that feels like they're making fun of the people who would be invested in that type of story, which feels like what the Snoke thing and the
but I also think it's making fun of like original Star Wars. Like it's like taking it off a pedestal in a sense. It feels like red letter media influenced esque almost. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't agree with that. I don't know. The Snoke
Oh,
thing
he
is
did used to
like,
follow them on Twitter.
yeah, maybe.
Disproven pussy. And he tweeted about them one time.
I don't remember if it was Rogue One or if it was The Last Jedi, but I'm pretty sure there's been an interview where someone talked to either Red Letter Media or it was like Cinema Sins or like the Honest Trailers or something. There was like an interview where they like directly talked to them. I don't know who it was though.
Well, there is a bunch of like these guys react to their own honest trailer. Like the Russo brothers did that a bunch. So
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The Snoke thing, it definitely feels like that. Nothing. I don't think anything could change how I feel about that. Hmm.
I guess I don't know. It's like more the ironic funny than the haha funny. Like these are separate categories.
Yeah, maybe.
But there wasn't a cynicism to the Snoke thing. I think Ryan Johnson just thought that was a really cool idea, just like he thought Luke throwing the lightsaber was like a really cool idea. Because I could see myself having the Luke idea. Like if I was writing a shitty Star Wars, I'd be like, and then what? Like, hold on, what if you fucking big dramatic moment at the end? Oh, we're all in awe of this, and what if you just fucking tossed it and said "fuck you, Star Wars" and walked off? I'd be like, oh, that's a great idea. The Snoke thing, not really. But yeah, I feel like it's just like a going in a different direction thing.
Maybe. I guess we'll see.
If only we had him here and we could torture the information out of him.
Or we could DM him on Twitter. He might reply. You never know. Or did he delete Twitter?
How would we trust his? How could we trust his 7 years after the fact recollection of his creative process, EliteAri? I think our speculations are just as valid as his truth.
Very true. Okay.
I'm all about the truth, frankly, EliteAri. You ever noticed that?
That is true. You do fight for the truth all the time. Okay, what else? What else is anything else about high-level thoughts on this movie?
I got a million notes, EliteAri, and no high-level thoughts at the moment. Let me think a little bit. So I guess, EliteAri, what's your opinion on Luke Skywalker's character assassination? He would never want to kill the great Kylo Ren.
I think there's 3 storylines in this movie. There's like the Rey stuff with Luke. There's the Poe stuff. Oh, sorry, the Finn stuff with Rose, and then there's like the Resistance stuff with Poe and Holdo and all that. I do like the Rey and Luke stuff a lot. I do think I enjoy Luke's characterization in this. I love the like 3 different perspectives of the telling of the backstory with Ben. I like that Luke has like cut himself off from the Force. I guess I generally like it. I do like it. It's all about like, there's 2 things. There's like the expectations of like being someone great, which I think is kind of interesting. How he like, it's a burden to him. And I think it's also the fact that he is portrayed as like, the scene with Yoda, I think is pretty important, where it's like portrayed as though we think Luke is like this wise person or whatever, but he is still a student in Yoda's eyes. Like he's still that young Luke or whatever. And it's like, oh, we place so much emphasis on the great Luke Skywalker, but he isn't the great Luke Skywalker. He's just like some guy like the rest of us who's learning as he goes. And I do like this. I like it generally. Yeah, I like the Luke stuff in this movie a lot.
The Yoda scene is like easily the best scene in the movie, besides besides the one Kylo Ren line that I was talking about really liking. Those might be the only 2 things I like in this movie, like outright. I guess whenever Rey's on screen, she's okay. She's pretty cool. She's pretty.
The cave scene. Oh my god! The snap of her fingers. There's like a million Reys behind her. That was pretty cool.
I already brought that scene up, EliteAri, you idiot.
Yep, true.
That is epic. I like that. Another thing. General point. Make sure to take me back to whatever the fuck we're talking about now, EliteAri, because I already forgot. There were a bunch of directing choices, and they were like split 50-50 between I thought they were really cool versus I thought they didn't fit Star Wars at all. But then there were some that were cool that didn't fit, but they were so cool. Like when that lady hyperspaces through the fucking thing and the light goes through, that's really cool. Doesn't feel like Star Wars at all. But that's like, that's cool enough for it to be good still. There were other things. A lot of them were early on. There were a lot of shots of stuff. And at the beginning, I was like mad. I was like, this isn't Star Wars at all. There's like one of the first shots is like, I think there's like a couple. It's like resistance fighters that we see throughout the movie maybe. And they both like walk up to the camera and like have a line of dialogue each and then walk off. And I was like, that was the worst scene I've ever seen in my life. Just like the framing of it, like they walked right up to the camera, spoke, and it was like not Star Warsy lines, and then they walked off each, and I was like, this is terrible. And then there was like right afterwards, I think was the call, and then like there was like a shots of the space battle that I didn't think fit, and I was like I might be Mauler right now. Like this,
Mm.
my whole video might be about how this isn't Star Wars.
Mm.
Um, later, I guess it felt more like The Force Awakens. So who cares about any of that? Um, I wish I could remember more of the directing choices that I didn't think fit. Even the Ray thing didn't really. I don't know. It didn't not fit, but it was so cool. There was a bunch of directing choices on the island that were cool, like the weird hole in the ground that's like to
Yeah.
hell because it's like that's like the coolest imagery of all time.
Mm.
Um, the like the tree and the Jedi stuff wasn't as cool. They obviously have the little mural in the ground that looks like the yin yang symbol. That's obviously like, you should be dark and light, bro. But
Mm.
I still don't know. And like the water would reverberate when Luke like turned his force powers back on. That was cool. That
Mm.
was a cool directing choice. There were a bunch of other shots that were cool.
Well, I
So I was
think
like, oh, this is like the first time I've ever noticed the directing in a Star Wars movie. Because apparently Rogue One was so well directed. Some idiots say, not
mm.
me.
I
The
think the coolest choice that is made in this movie is like one that I don't think is immediately obvious, but or maybe it is. It is the fact that when Rey and Rey and Kylo are talking to each other, you see their surroundings around them. Like you're just cutting between two scenes,
They
and they're like
don't.
facing each other. Yeah, but they don't. It would be so easy to like
It
use
is
it so it's
cool.
just in a black void or something, and the two of them are talking. But he just chose to have like the two settings, and they're like facing each other, like depending on where the camera is like facing, whatever. It's like kind of cool. That's a cool directing choice, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were great. They were in love. They touched hands. Luke got really
Mm.
scared, and then he broke like. Oh, that was another
Oh, that
cool
was
thing. He like
cool.
broke the thing around him. That was
Yep.
epic. And it was just like in the when he attacked the great Kylo Ren that one time. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, some of that stuff was cool. I
Now
guess
another cool shot is like right at the end where Luke is walking out of the place, and it's like the sun is behind all these like positioned like AT-ATs, and it's like really cool looking and epic and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever those, because that was a long shot. It happened when he was like
Yeah.
first walking into like the weird tree thing on the island. I was like, this would look really cool if this wasn't 480p right now, EliteAri. And I
Yeah.
was like
It's a shame.
mad. Like,
Hmm.
God fucking damn it! I should have torrented this shitty movie.
Hmm.
Um, so what a harmed viewing experience I had.
Hmm.
Um, I want to bring this up because this is our another Miller the Killer point. He DM'd me right when I sent out my tweet that we were recording this evening, EliteAri. I don't even know if you saw that tweet.
Hmm.
Um, he messaged me. He direct messaged me privately, Leary, and he said, "Please admit that the fight in the hall with the red guys is the best fight scene in Star Wars." Your thoughts, Leary?
It's probably the worst fight scene in Star Wars. I hate it. Like it's unironically really bad. I hated it when I first saw it,
I
and I hate it
liked
to
it.
this day. Yeah, it's terrible. It's like the most
They've all got
obvious.
different
Like
weapons.
they're all waiting for moments, and it's like, oh my god, this is the most like
Oh,
choreographed
shut
thing. I
the
hate
fuck
it.
up,
I hate
Leary.
it so
Waiting for
much.
moments, you little
Yep.
pussy. What a dumb criticism.
Yep,
The
it's the most transparent where I'm like, man, it's like they're dancing right now. They're like waiting for their turn to like do their little
Nah,
dance
that's
thing, and I
epic.
don't like it.
That's
Yeah,
epic.
it is a bad fight scene. I don't like it. Worst fight scene in Star Wars easily. It's worse than the
Nah, it
Macy and
was
Paladin
okay.
thing that I didn't like. Yeah.
Now, I don't like silly swords and nonsense, so it's no shooting scene. Was there any good shooting scenes in this movie, Illyri? There wasn't, huh?
You know what? They never stand out to me, so I have no idea.
There's never been a good shooting scene in anything, Illyri retorts. What a
Mm.
genius point. The I guess Finn when he's on the ship and they're blowing in Captain Phasma, but that sucked anyway.
Mm.
The oh I like the weapons. I don't know. The one dude grinding the thing on his forearm, that's like the coolest thing of all time. They do that in that Lives of P game, Lies of P, I think it's called actually. And that was like the first place I've seen it, but I'm assuming this is just something that happens with swords or something in something. Maybe it's like in Blade Runner or something, and it's some old sci-fi thing.
No idea.
So that's really cool. The other weapons were kind of lame. I guess I just like that one. One of them split apart, and it's like, oh, soy. So are these like these aren't? So this is a cool thing, but it's the answer's no, Alita, right? Are these the guys that Kylo Ren was training with that he took with him or something? No. Are they? Do they even have lightsaber dudes? Why are they serving smoke? It's also the red guys that never did anything in any of those movies, but now they're doing something. So that's kind of funny, huh?
Yeah, so these are the Praetorian Guards. You see them in the prequels, and you see them here. They're the two. Remember when Yoda knocked out the two guards by like going like he's like flicked
Yes,
his
I
hand?
just
Yeah.
referenced that. You idiot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the scenes before, like where you see them everywhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
they are in the prequels. Yeah, they're the Praetorian Guards. We finally see
And
them
they're
fight.
they're in Return of the Jedi. I don't know if they were originally there, but there's like two of them when the Emperor comes out of
I
the
don't even
ship.
remember that, but cool. We love that.
Yeah,
All right,
so
well
they're not
done.
those guys. Where did those
Uh,
guys go? You're supposed to reference EliteAri. Who knows?
they're probably the same people. Um,
Really?
Okay,
Why would they
anyway.
be with Snoke and fighting? Why would they fight Kylo Ren if he saved him from the evil Luke Skywalker's training?
Who knows? Maybe they're droids or something. I don't know.
Well, they were violently killing them. Like one of them went into a meat grinder and then came
Yeah,
up
that's
in
crazy.
bits. And then one of them got decapitated. And I was like, well, these have to be droids. Otherwise, this movie is going to be MA 15 plus.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mace Windu decapitated, like, you know, Jango Fett, and Anakin decapitated Dooku, and
That's
there's
true.
decapitations. Arms get lost all the time. There was the bloody arm that Obi-Wan cut off. I think, yeah, it's fine. Anyway,
I think
back
the rating
to
thing is blood,
yeah.
Right? That's like the talking point. That
I have
it's
no
like
idea. I don't know.
I guess that's the thing in that Uncharted movie I just watched that I'm bringing up, EliteAri, because the a guy gets his throat slit, but there's like literally no blood, and it's like, oh, they had to do that because of the rating.
Mhm.
Maybe not. I don't know.
So back to the Luke stuff. Did you? I think I've said what I said. I liked it. Any thoughts on the Luke Skywalker storyline?
I guess I didn't like it. Like you were going through
Mhm.
the 3 plots there, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't like any of these.
Mhm.
People make fun of the Finn stuff a lot, but I thought that was like fine.
I found that so boring. Oh my goodness. Maybe I
They're
don't
only
even know
on
why
that
I
planet
find it
for
so
like
boring.
5 minutes.
No, they're on. They're
Like
probably
everybody in every
come on. What are you
review
talking about?
is like, oh,
It's like half the movie.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like 20 minutes maximum, and that's me being as good faith as possible.
Let me think.
They go there.
I'd say 30 minutes. 30
They
minutes.
get arrested. They get arrested. They're in the prison with that one dude. Who the fuck is this dude? Everybody's asking. He's got like a stutter or something.
Yeah,
nobody knows
stutter.
his
That
name.
was cool. It's like DJ.
They immediately break out. Like within the same scene, they're thrown in prison. They free the animals and then they run away. It might be 15 minutes.
All right, we can check. I'm gonna guess 30 minutes. We'll check after this. All right. 30 minutes of screen time.
Count them up.
Yeah.
I'm changing it back to 20 just so I can win.
Yep.
Now
it does feel like a long time to me. It feels like they were there for a long time. I didn't find any of it interesting.
It must be because I was ready for a 40. Like they were only going there and it was like an hour in, and I was like, oh, whoa, what's happening here? So I was like, wow. And then they were gone immediately. So everybody that complained about that's retarded, including you, EliteAri. They saved the animals. I like saving animals. That was cool. There is cringe parts there, but it's all to do with those dumb little kids. And then the little kid sleeping at the end after he comes. He's sweeping EliteAri. Who's he covering for? The kids were cringe. The animals were cool.
Yeah, I found, obviously I don't like animals in movies usually. At least this one didn't talk. That was good. But I mean,
there were so many great animals.
It's the most like, it's just so boring. It's like, oh, you know, the war, making money off war is bad. Abusing animals, bad.
Oh, that is true. That is some soy modernizing. That's definitely some dumb Ryan Johnson shit. But they kind of did that in the Force Awakens too a little bit. That is funny. And they sell the weapons to both sides. Can you believe it, EliteAri? Incredible.
Yep.
It is some soy, like, dumb 3 IQ talking point.
I don't find it interesting.
Nothing about it was interesting. It was just cool and cathartic, EliteAri. We love that. I liked the planet. I liked them running in the field and stuff. That was cool. I don't know. Oh, the great animals, EliteAri. We got these big thingy. Oh, EliteAri, could you believe it? There's a racetrack. They're panning out. I'm like, oh my god, it's pod racing, EliteAri. Pretty cool reference. Yep. And it was the horses.
Yep.
Oh, they hate the prequels, EliteAri. That was so funny to me. I was dying. Goodness. I was like, and they're even making a lot of noise. It's like, oh, there's a hardcore pod race going on.
Yep.
I was like, but no, it's just dancing horses that are a little big. First of all, these mineral foxes, super cool. We love these little foxes. Could be a Pokemon. Cool. It's so cool.
Yep.
Then we've got the great Porgs, EliteAri. I love these little fellas. They're hanging out with Chewbacca the whole time. I thought they were great. They were screaming, and Chewbacca's pissed off at them.
Yep.
It was so funny. If Chewbacca was like friends with them, it would have been cringe, EliteAri. But the fact that he hates them is hilarious to me. We love the great Chewbacca. He's so mad. He's screaming at him. One of them was getting hit on the window all the time when he was doing a scream with Chewbacca when they showed up to save everybody at the end. And Kylo Ren yelled at the Millennium. That was the greatest 3 seconds of the movie, EliteAri. That Kylo Ren line, EliteAri. I want to go listen to it. It's going to be not as cool as I remember it being, EliteAri. I'm going to be upset.
It'll be great.
And then we had these ugly Jedi things that were just helping.
Wait, I think you just cut out. Kyle has disappeared. Oh my god. Is he gonna come back? Do I have to like span time here while you're all... And remember guys, if you're listening right now, leave a comment, okay? Say something amazing.
I was in a great monologue about how great the animals were, and I said like 3 funny things. When did I cut out?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I was talking about how Chewbacca was friends with the
Yeah,
Pogs,
I heard
or
that.
wasn't
Yeah.
friends, and that was perfect.
Yep.
And that they and there was and did you hear me making fun of the dumb Jedi things, the things that live with Luke
Yes.
Skywalker? I
Yep.
hated those things. Those were ugly. And then I don't remember what I said about after that. It was hilarious, though, I'm sure.
Okay. Excellent.
So masked creatures in Star Wars, these dumb aliens, every time they show up, oh, there's that one dude with the giant head that's always in the rebellion meetings. Retarded, EliteAri. We hate that guy. These cool little animals, they're the best.
True. I agree.
Oh my god. You hesitated for like 1 minute, 1 second there, and I thought we cut out again.
No,
don't scare me like that.
Okay. What do we talk about now? Okay.
We got notes, EliteAri. I got a lot of them.
So we've talked about the Rey and Luke stuff a little bit. We've talked about the
Canto
Bias stuff a little bit.
girl.
Let's talk about Captain Holder, or whatever her name is. Holder, basically, that's her name. But what are you? Yeah, what's that?
She was the greatest hero the galaxy had ever seen, apparently. Why didn't she just explain the plan? And so you're telling me we could have just light speeded through the Death Star the whole time? We just needed one suicide bomber?
I don't care about the practical. That matters.
I sound like
I don't care about that at all. That doesn't make any difference.
I didn't care about it. I thought about it for like 5 minutes while it was happening.
You could easily come up with a reason, be like, oh, like the Death Star was too. Yeah, maybe the Death Star had shields, and the shields had to be down, and it was only down. You could come up with some weird sci-fi. I have no idea.
So why did they go on this whole So Poe goes on this mission, or sends them off on the mission, but then he does. And then Leia is turning on him, but what?
To me, this Holdo-Poe rivalry storyline feels like a complete waste of time to me, and it's very boring.
It's so much worse than the great casino stuff. Admit it.
I don't like the casino stuff at all.
Casino stuff is part of it.
I don't like the casino stuff at all. There is some stuff in this Poe. Like, it is an interesting idea, right? To have this, the guy that we side with, which is Poe. To kind of have his
proven wrong.
Yeah, to have him be proven wrong, but also
it is another subversion thing.
This is like a very it has to be commenting on toxic masculinity and thinking you know what's right if you
something.
If you're diving in head first, and I see the criticism there. But
Poe's not the character to do that with, right? He's
well, they make him the character to do it with, because in the beginning of the
beginning,
he just out. Yeah, I don't know if that's in character or not. We don't know his character that well enough to judge, I guess. But a
Han Solo character would be much better to do this with, but it would ruin how cool Han Solo is. And Poe's kind of supposed to be the Han Solo character, right? He's the cool, sexy one. But yeah, it's leaves Poe in a weird position. It puts all the thanks on this pink-haired girl that nobody likes, and Leia is doing something. Oh, we didn't talk about Leia forcing through space, which is the worst thing that's ever happened in Star Wars, apparently. EliteAri, who cares?
Yeah, that was fine. Yeah.
It is. So she has some sort of force powers, I guess. Why doesn't she have a lightsaber?
I sure hope so. How else would she do that? Oh my goodness.
Or maybe Luke phantomed her back in.
Nah, Luke had cut himself.
Or Kylo Ren did. Kylo Ren did.
Well, that was interesting. Kylo Ren he chose not to kill her.
He didn't want to kill her earlier. Yeah. Oh, the great Kylo Ren. He just loves his mommy. That definitely fits. He's a mama's boy.
Yep.
Cute.
Yeah, but okay, on this, because there is a Steelman. It makes sense why she wouldn't tell her. I guess it makes sense.
Why?
Because
is he gonna leak it?
Unironically, that's what ended up happening, right? Because he leaked it to Finn, then Finn told the coding guy, whatever, DJ, whatever, and they found out, and that's why they started attacking them. So it is Poe's fault.
This DJ idiot better be in the 9th one, EliteAri. I need some resolution on who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it makes sense.
He could have been a cool character. But he just wasn't in it enough.
I like the performance. It was a good performance. But yeah, there wasn't much of it, yeah. He had small things. He gave back the little medallion thing to Rose. That was cute. But there wasn't that much.
Oh yeah, on that, because I watched the first 40 minutes, then slept, and then watched the rest today. Literally last night. I was scratching my brain. I'm oh, I know that medallion was in this movie somewhere. And then eventually I realized that the one Asian girl must have had it that we focused on for a little bit, and that must have been her sister. Am I correct in this, EliteAri?
You are correct. That is
another thing. First of all, this sister is the greatest catharsis in this movie. She's the best character. She just did the thing. That was crazy.
Yep.
And I feel like we focused on her for like a good 5 minutes. She's way cooler than Rose. Rose
That
has got
was
a
a
fat
very cool
face,
shot, by
EliteAri. I
the
don't like
way.
it.
That was the cool shot when all the bombs are
It
like
was
going
true.
down and it's like rotating and she's like in the middle and it's like, man, this is so cool. Oh my god.
That might have been one of the ones that I didn't like that I didn't think fit in Star Wars, EliteAri,
It
I
was
think.
so cool though. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I was just because I knew there was an Asian girl in it at some point. So I was like, is this the Asian girl? But then
Oh,
she like
people
fell
hate
down and I
her.
thought she was paralyzed.
Mm.
Yes. This is another thing, like people really hate this pink-haired girl, I know that.
Mm.
Because she's like the dyed hair SJW telling off the white man who's
Yeah.
brave and courageous about his toxic masculinity or something.
Mm.
I had definitely seen that character a bunch before, but I'd never seen this fucking hacker dude at the end or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
I was saying something to EliteAri. Rose was annoying EliteAri, didn't like her very much. It feels like course correction just because Kylo and Rey are now in love, so we have to give Finn somebody to have a girlfriend with. And their kiss at the end, lame and boring and not cool. And she told him she loved him when they'd been hanging out for half an hour. That was not cool. And then her introductory scene was kind of cute because again, Finn like trying to run away is kind of interesting. But then like the joke about how she's like zapped 3 people, but she was like stupid enough to not realize that was happening now or something. I don't know. That felt like a movie character thing. That was okay. And she was like crying and stuff. I don't like crying, EliteAri, but that was kind of funny. Well, I was pivoting. Oh, and fucking Kylo Ren and Rey can't kiss, but these 2 fucking losers kissed, EliteAri. I'm so fucking mad right now.
Crazy.
I swear I had heard they kissed in this movie. It's possible it happens in the next one, but I don't think so. So now I'm mad about it because Kylo Ren's gonna die, and maybe she'll kiss him as he's dying, EliteAri. Now that's sexy.
Maybe.
God, he's got his shirt off, and she's like, "Put a towel on, Ulu." Oh, it was so hot, EliteAri. God damn!
Okay, wait. Before we're talking about way too many things here. On Rose, Rose,
she's fine.
No, I don't. She's. I like her at the beginning. The thing is, I feel like the final scene, I just don't understand it. Maybe you can explain it to me. She like.
Nope.
I think basically Finn is like charging in to destroy the miniature Death Star thing. Which is really cool. What a cool concept. Oh my god. But he's like charging in there and he's gonna like kill himself to do it. Which firstly, I don't think doesn't land to me because I never really understood why Finn would feel so strongly about like being like suicidal in the case of like, oh, I'm gonna kill him even if it like takes out my life. I don't really understand it. I guess it like has to do with the bravery storyline.
I don't remember why though.
Yeah, I don't feel anything. I'm not like, thank you. Like, he's doing it.
It's because he beat Phasma up, right? And he's like, you're scum. And he's like, rebel scum. He's on that side now, and that was like, maybe. I felt that, I guess. I was like, that's cool. And then they're like trapped in the thing, and it's like, well, you don't got nowhere to go. But he's like, oh. And also Rey's back, and he's very concerned about Rey. It is cute that she's concerned about him. Like, I feel like it maybe should have been more one-sided. It is kind of like, why does she care about this? I guess, whatever, sure.
I buy it.
I guess both of Finn's girlfriends think he's like a hero at the beginning, and then he's not, and that's funny.
Yeah, but more okay, so basically after the sacrificing, she like goes and drives and like hits him out of the way. And then like tells him about like she says some line about like, oh, we need to fight for something, not fight against something or whatever. That's like the main point.
Yeah, something like that.
And
she just
doesn't
EliteAri.
It doesn't resonate to me. I don't feel it. I'm not like, oh, this is like Rose's character shining through here. It just feels like to me it feels like maybe it comes out of nowhere.
Also, I bet in every one of these shitty YouTube reviews, they were like, "You could have killed both of you if you crashed like that, you dumb bitch." And
maybe, true.
That's what we're supposed to care about, EliteAri. It just don't make no sense.
So true. Rose dumb. How dumb? How dare she do that? I don't know. I just
dumb woman, EliteAri.
Pretty uninteresting.
God damn it! I'm sick of women in my Star Wars.
I think the most interesting. I don't want to like. It's tough to. There is an interesting thing about Rose, but it's like a spoiler for the next movie, so I don't want to talk about it. But basically, I do like the the kiss. No, I like the kiss. It is I like it. But for reasons I guess that we expand in the next movie. But it is cool.
It was like a terrible kiss too. Well, I guess it's like because Finn wasn't going for it. I guess whatever.
I will see in the next movie. But
let me tell you, this
reasons,
Kylo Ray kiss in my head. It was long and it was passionate, EliteAri.
I don't know,
and it was angsty too. It was great.
I don't know why you think this is a thing, but it is. I can understand why.
I feel like in my head I've seen it. I've seen it in a movie review 7 years ago, EliteAri.
All right. Well, look forward to it, I guess.
Remember when they touched hands, Leary? God damn it.
Yep.
It
Okay.
was Princess Leia and Han Solo all over again.
So Rose is in this. That's Rose. Next up, you were talking about Kylo Ren. The Force connections in Kylo Ren and everything. I like his fascination with how this works. Like he kept bringing it up. He's like, "Can you see my surroundings?" And she was like ignoring it because she only cares about like the emotion
He's
stuff.
like a little scientist.
Yeah, he's like interested, and I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." But this does like recharacterize Kylo Ren in a way because like, this is like you see him as like a genuine person here. It's like, oh, he's like having showers and like he's like talking to Rey about her surroundings, and it's like, oh, this is like kind of cool. And he's like he knows he knows more than her in this situation, and he's like, did Luke tell you what happened? And it's like, oh, he's like the fact that he doesn't tell her what happened straight away.
That felt like a movie line.
Well, I know it's a line maybe, but like the idea of like the character that knows that he has more information in the situation and is like the way he's like dancing around it and is like kind of controlling her in that way. I thought it was kind of interesting.
It did feel like inquisitive. It was like, yeah. There's a great line where she calls him a monster and he feels good about it. He's like, yeah, I'm cool now. I'm like a monster and stuff. That was like a great little bit of Kylo Ren characterization. I was like, oh, he just wants to be like respected because he's a little boy.
Yeah.
And I guess they both do have a lot of like little boy, little girl like characterization. And it definitely is cute. And I think it feeds into the angsty stuff because how old are they supposed to be? Like this feels like a teenagey like romance thing, like a little bit. Which I guess you can buy that they're both like 17.
No, I think they're meant to be in. I think they're in their 20s, definitely. I don't know.
Well,
I think
neither one of them have ever
kissed
somebody.
Yeah,
that's how it comes off, and they're 20 something.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
Which way?
Well, the thing is that I just know the actors obviously have a massive age gap, but like I don't know about the characters.
Well, yeah,
right?
Adam Driver was signing up in 2001. He's probably an old man. But no, Kylo Ren's definitely like actually 23 max.
The actors aren't even that far apart. They're only 9 years apart. That's actually kind of crazy. I thought they were way older difference. I don't know. Maybe they are the same age.
They both look young in this. I don't know.
Yeah.
How old's Daisy Ridley? 32. She's old.
Mm-hmm.
She's nearly EliteAri old.
Crazy. Okay.
No, they both look like 17. It's great. I mean 18 because I want to watch them kiss EliteAri. Calm down. Now, but yeah, whatever. What was I saying? Anyway.
Okay. Force connections, Kylo, Rey, cool.
That was great. You are hitting on a good point there. It's like Mushoku Tensei episode 1 great, where it's like, oh, how does this work? And it's like a cool way. It's like a smart, cool way to try and think it through or something. I don't know. Cool.
It sticks with me. Like the way he delivered the line of like, can you see my surroundings?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
The way it is that line too. It's like, how are we connected? What's happening here? It's like a way you would actually interact with somebody, like in a situation where they kind of don't understand it and you do understand it, and you also come off as cool. You know, I can't remember an example of me doing this, but I must have done it to relate to this moment.
Of course, yeah.
Epic.
Right. Anyway, speaking of cool, how cool is Snoke? Oh my god, he's like so strong and he's like moving Rey around with the Force and he's like shooting lightning. Yeah, he like bounced the lightning off the floor and like shot it at Kylo.
Like the great Count Dooku that one time. That's how you know they're big bad guys.
Yep. And he has like this scar on his face. And I was like, well, how did he get that scar? Oh my god, it's like half his face is like sunken in. Snoke's cool. I like him. I like his outfit. His like weird like golden like fancy outfit thing.
Maul in the gang? I guess we're gonna find out he's just a clone thing that stupid Palpatine cooked up. Now, Rey is also a clone of him or something, I'm sure. Can't wait to find out. Now...
Why is it called The Rise of Skywalker?
Because... what a great question, EliteAri. Because Skywalker is not about... What a great question, EliteAri. Because in my head, Rey's been a Skywalker the whole time just because of that title. But I've never internalized that. There's no way that's what they do, right? Well, because Palpatine created the Skywalkers because they were a clone of him too, Darth Vader and stuff. Immaculate Conception, and then Luke and Leia from that, with that dirty Naboo blood. Crazy. Better say something before I think you cut out again, EliteAri.
No, I'm here. I'm just listening to your theories. Very good.
I don't care. There's no hints about anything. They're going to make it up again for the 9th one.
True. Well, why was it called The Last Jedi?
Well, that was a misdirect, but that was the thingy. So we're doing, because it's Subversion the movie, you see. The Force did awaken in the Great Rey, so that was a truthful one.
That is true. And Snoke even said it, is like, there has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Like, oh my god, he did? That was epic.
All
The
right.
only I guess it's just about Kylo. Kylo Ren's last name is Solo.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
What the fuck does that title mean? I
Who
bet it's something
knows?
lame though. I can't get excited about this.
Yeah, don't
Right?
get too excited.
There's no Skywalkers left alive. They're all dead. Oh, Leia, but she's gonna be dead somehow at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah, that
The title
actor
crawl's
died.
gonna
My goodness.
start with Princess Leia has died. That's good. That's my prediction.
Oh, wait a minute.
Uh oh.
All right, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, title.
Did you see my great?
What'd you say?
Did you hear
You
my
cut
great
out right. No,
prediction?
right as you were saying it. Say it again.
The first line of the title crawl for the next one is going to be "The Princess Leia has died."
You know what?
I
I don't remember, but it's very possible that is what happens. I guess we'll see. I don't remember.
I did sort of get spoiled when I read her Wikipedia page where it said scenes that were filmed for The Force Awakens were used in something. So she was definitely dead before they filmed this ninth one. So
yeah, she died. Actually,
2016.
I'm fairly sure that she.
December.
I think they filmed
Before
some stuff
right after the first one came out.
Really? I feel like they filmed stuff. Well, maybe it was stuff from the Last Jedi where they like used it for the next movie. I don't know. Anyway, she is in the movie a little bit, but I don't remember if it was like flashbacks or something. I actually don't remember. Anyway.
We're gonna find out.
Yep. Next up, there is the scene with Yoda that's really good. I just have a bunch of quotes that I've written down. Well, only two quotes,
Greatest
actually.
scene of all time. I think I might have quotes for that one too.
But I said Yoda scene is great. Yoda being the one to burn down the sacred text is really great, especially because he like, especially in the prequels, he is hesitating. Like Luke. I mean, Yoda is like the Jedi. Like he is the one who's telling Anakin about like, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, and like no, to me it feels like this is like the conclusion he's come to, which is that like it's not, you don't rigidly stick to these rules. Maybe. Like the like he says, like page turners they were not or whatever, and I'm like, oh, this is like interesting. Where it's like he, in his old age he's realized that like life is the experiences you have, and it's like there is value in trying your best and like passing on what you know, and especially passing on your mistakes is what he says as well. And it's like I like this. Yoda's like wise in his old age. Yeah.
To me, it felt like a complete, like, the prequels didn't happen. This is how he's always been in, like, the original trilogy. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I remember Yoda being retarded in this original trilogy, and he was wrong, and that's sort of the conclusion me and EliteAri came to. Now, I don't remember the instances that led up to any of those thoughts.
Well, it was when in Empire, when he's like, don't go to your friends. If you go to your friends, then you'll lose or whatever. Or, like, you'll suffer greatly.
Yeah, but I feel like there was something
like your
else.
training won't be
complete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were like, oh, he was definitely wrong because it works out in the end or something. But then Yoda can't actually see the future or something. Because the thing here is like he's more of like a why. Like Yoda in a city concept like doesn't really make sense unless it's in the prequels. So, and it's in the prequels you like buy it. But it's like obviously Yoda is like Master Roshi on an island and doesn't like believe in like elevators, and he'll take the stairs. God damn it! Like, and it definitely feels like of course Yoda would think the concept of a book is like a bad thing because he like is like, no, you must remember it all or something, or you must learn from nature and not write things down or something. So that felt really cool. It was like, oh yeah, the fucking dumb books are gay, kill them. And it was like, yeah, like I don't know. It feels like he's like the hermit, and he's like a wacky guy because he was being wacky again. Which I remember was like a famous Red Letter Media criticism where it's like, why was Yoda in The Last Jedi acting like the fake Yoda from the Empire movie?
Well, he probably enjoys it. That's what I would imagine.
Yeah, I thought he was just having fun. He was letting loose. He was like, Luke, stop being such a pussy. Have some fun. Go help you go. Oh, and he said Rey's name, EliteAri, and I saw it out of it. He was like, the girl Rey, and I was like, Yoda knows who Rey is.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's the best Star Wars character. I will say, I came away from this being like, that great Master Yoda, when I feel like I've been shitting on Yoda the whole time. So now Yoda, we'll put him in S tier 2. He's my favorite guy.
It is, I think it probably is the best Yoda scene. He looks the best in this as well, visually. I think it looks really good. Like, I know in the Empire I complained he looks like a puppet. And then in the prequels, he like, looks good in the first one. The other two, the CGI is not quite as good. But in this, I think it's great. Whatever they did, I don't know if it was like practical or CG or whatever, but it looked really good.
EliteAri's fake talking point that he looked any different in any of these prequels, embarrassing. Now
we are what they grow beyond. That's my last word there. It's great.
Shut up. I'm talking about, I remembered you saying that you hated the way he looked in this, and I saw him and I was like, oh, I could see why EliteAri thought that. So the fact that you have the exact opposite opinion is very funny. Because his mouth was moving and I was like, oh, this is just a dumb puppet again.
It looked good.
I don't know if it
was.
was.
It a lot. Mm.
Because when you first see him, he's like young Yoda, but then when you see him later, he has like the old man hair, right? Was that like something we were doing where he was like going through time there, or
Oh,
was
I
he
didn't
just old
realize
man
that.
Yoda the whole
I
time?
just figured he was the
I
old
don't
man the
know.
whole
I could
time.
be wrong. This was supposed to be framed as a question.
Well, the answer is I just thought he was the old man the whole time, but maybe I missed the
He was
detail. I don't
also
know.
he was also had blue light around him.
Because he was a Force ghost, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Would you think he was actually there? My goodness.
I
Jesus.
thought he was like radiating great aura.
Oh my goodness. True. Maybe
But
he was.
he did make it lightning. Oh, it was so cool. He burnt the thingy down because Luke was hesitating. Luke's like threatening
Yeah.
because Luke's a little pussy right now, and he's like, "I'm gonna burn it down, Master Yoda." The way he said Master Yoda sounded like young Luke too. It was very funny.
Yeah.
And then he was like, then he was like, "I'll do it, I swear." And then he just did it. He alphaed him, EliteAri.
Yep.
What a little pussy.
Yep. I mean, we said
It was
just for, I
great.
guess,
What
for
a great
anyone,
scene.
if they skip just to the Last Jedi, the best thing in this scene is the reframing of Luke as a student. It is very cute. It's like Master Yoda's looking down on him as the same Luke that he was back in the day. He's like, oh, look at my little student guy. He's still learning.
Oh, when you were saying this earlier, I had something to say where it was like, oh, I don't buy that Luke's like traumatized by having to be a legend when he hasn't like just go live on Tatooine, you pussy. What are you doing? Like nobody needs like first of all, I almost don't even buy that like the galaxy knows his name. But whatever, they spread the news. The Ewoks did after he beat everybody or something. First of all, there's not even a galaxy. I'm sick of this, and it's true in these ones. There's no cities in Star Wars. Kill yourself. Like Star Wars is about like these two armies and like a bunch of small outposts on planets. I'm sick of this.
You know,
Coruscant doesn't
your
exist
opinion
in
is
anything
being
but these
more
prequels.
and more diluted as more Star Wars movies come out. So I don't know. Yeah.
I know, and I'm not going to like it, Alita. If there's a city in this next one, I'm going to be very mad. But there is a disconnect there. There's oh, that was a point. That was a tangent inside of a point, Alita, and I'm sure the point was a genius point. Oh, Luke, shut up. He doesn't have any burden. Like, I guess I buy it when he opens up his dumb temple and like his kids killed his other kids and then ran off. Like that's like a burden. But like he's talking about his burden before that of like I was the famous, like I'm the legend that everybody thinks is so cool or something, but I'm actually not cool. Like,
well, I think it ties into the kid like failing as the teacher in the academy and having all his kids die. He's like, I was meant to be this like great person who people looked up to as inspiration. And I was looking after these kids,
but
and
he
came
failed.
to be trained.
Yeah,
but I led them all to death, and I am not the legend. I'm just a man who's broken, and I buy it.
I feel like Luke was always just a guy, though.
Well, that's the thing. He was like he was.
I know that's like the point, but it's like I don't know this mythos. I guess whatever.
It definitely is a meta thing as well, right? Because the legend of Luke Skywalker,
is, which is. But I also don't buy it in that because I don't really hold Luke Skywalker with any reverence because he's like not a character I like too much.
Yeah.
So they are definitely trying to tap into that. And even when he shows up at the end, it's like not as cool as it could have been, and I don't even like it.
No, it's cool. It's really cool. I like it a lot.
No, the slow thing, he should have either the lightsaber should have come on before you saw him, and so it's like, oh my god, soy. Now, first of all, I don't think he has his light. Oh, maybe he does. Does he have his lightsaber? I don't remember.
He has a lightsaber.
Which one broke?
I think he has the broken one when he comes at the end.
Yeah. But like he should have like killed 3 ATSTs or whatever by himself or something. Do something cool. Or he should have actually been there and stopped all the shots with his
I can agree with you with that, I guess, because like I like the scene, and I think the scene is very cool, and I think Luke's like entrance as a character in that moment is very cool. I guess I can agree, like if plot wise or whatever, it would be a cooler moment for like the story if he had come and like destroyed a bunch of stuff rather than just like surviving because he's technically not there or whatever.
I also think the moment with Leia is not like.
Oh, I love the moment with Leia.
Like, I think
it's very good. I think it's really good. It's so cute. It's like she knows exactly what he's going to say and like cuts him off or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, it's great.
It's really like the Han and Leia scene. It's like, and we obviously never get a.
Oh no, this is a million times better than the Han and Leia scene. This is so much better.
No, I feel like they're bad for the same reason.
No, this is good because it's so cute. It's like I changed my hair, and it's like it's playing a joke in this moment, and it's like they're siblings and stuff. And
fuck your shitty joke.
I think this is great. The scene was great.
They should have like hugged.
I'm sorry, I know.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, they're great. Yeah.
But also, I wanted them to recontextualize Luke's power in like a modern Star Wars context, because we've had the prequels and shit, where Luke obviously in the original trilogy is just like swinging his sword because we're boring and we don't have cool fights. Like if he had stopped all the bullets that were firing at him, it'd be like, okay, Luke Skywalker is the strongest of all time. Okay, I understand. I get it now. But he didn't fight at all in any of this movie, and he didn't seem strong at all. So it's just like, well, Luke was never even strong. He learned how to swing his sword a little bit or something, and like. Darth Vader did cooler things when he was a 9-year-old kid.
True. He could have been cooler, but I thought it was very cool already. He was a Force ghost. Oh my goodness, but like not really.
And that killed him. But
nah, he chose it. He didn't have to die in that movie. And he chose to just like, just disappear like Obi-Wan did that.
Oh, the greatest bit of Luke characterization ever is in this movie, where they talk about him always looking to... Oh, it's in the Yoda scene. Of course it's great. Where he's like, always looking to the horizon you are. And then he dies looking towards the horizon. And that was like a thing. Oh, that is like an iconic Luke shot. But I've never really internalized that or thought about what that meant. About like, oh, he can't live in the moment. It's kind of a recontextualization of that. But that was all great.
Yoda makes
God,
better.
this Yoda. Greatest of all time.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So I guess now...
No, hold on, EliteAri. Last thing on Luke Skywalker. I guess I'm not too mad at the people that are like, oh, they ruined Luke Skywalker in this movie, I guess. I feel like I would be like, oh, I guess I can see where they're coming from with that. Though I'm assuming their ideas are retarded.
No, I think it's understandable. I like the storyline with Luke and everything for the reasons I've said, but I can understand if you're like, you have an expectation of what Luke is.
Well, it depends what they dislike. Do they dislike that he's grumpy, or do they dislike that he tried to kill Kylo Ren?
I don't speak for these people because I don't know their arguments that well. It's been a while. I do think it really is like Luke is like the guy who spared even Vader, but now he's going to kill his own nephew. I think that is the big thing, I think. Like this is the man who refused to kill
But I like how they hand wave it.
Yeah.
With the Luke thing where it's like Luke just had the thought for a second.
Yeah,
I think it's a little dramatic because he turned the lightsaber on, but whatever. I kind of like that in retrospect, where it's like for a second I thought, oh my god, he's gonna kill everybody I love, so I can take him out. But then he gets caught. The getting caught in the moment is a bit of a Jockey Bacon coincidence thingy, I guess.
I don't know about a coincidence. My goodness.
Well, it's like, oh, it's a misunderstanding. No, more than a misunderstanding.
Sure, yeah.
I guess, yeah. That's a little frustrating, I guess, because and Luke and Kylo don't ever really like talk about that. It's kind of Kylo Ren's a fucking idiot, EliteAri. Why is he mad?
He's a kid, yeah. He's like stunted development. Yeah, I don't know. He's mad, yeah. One thing that
what is he so mad about?
That no one wants him. Oh my goodness, he's so
want him.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I guess every kid's like, oh, nobody loves me, but like their parents probably do love him. Yeah. Because it's not about that. It's about understanding his struggles or something. Because whenever your teenage kid is having a struggle, you're like, stop being a retarded teenager, you're a retard, is all the parents say.
So how would you feel?
They're so far past that point to relate to the emotions.
Do you think you would like the character better if we actually saw more of the flashbacks of him in that like training place, and like maybe he had an ego or something, or maybe he didn't have an ego and maybe he was bullied or something? Like, would you like that more, you think?
Well, no, because I like that he's an angry boy. How do we make him an angry little... Han Solo abandoned him. It's easy. But like Han Solo's too cool and nice.
Maybe
Force
he's...
Awakens to have abandoned
you know who abandoned him? His hero, Luke Skywalker, abandoned him and tried to kill him. He looked up to him his whole life. He's his hero, and he tried to kill him, and I don't know.
But he assumed so right away. Like, how do you know it's not like a training where he's like jumping you in the middle of the night and you got to have cool reflexes to prove that you're a strong Jedi now?
Because he probably sensed he used the Force to sense Luke's feelings and realized that he truly did feel that in the moment. Yeah.
No, that's a good... They should have emphasized that. I can buy that. Like, he felt the hatred and like it blurred out.
There is
true. Like,
Luke does say that Snoke had already got to him, so it's like Snoke's influence is there as well. But it's like you don't really feel it. That's what I was gonna say. You don't feel it. It's like Snoke.
Palpatine didn't get to him. He just said, "I can save your girlfriend," and that's why Vader turned. All right, and then he lied to him.
Maybe.
And then Vader was never mad that he got lied to, I guess. Well, I guess he never found out. Vader should have found out. These prequels suck. Emperor Palpatine's the worst character of all time. Can't wait for the next one.
So, that's the Luke Kylo back. No, wait, one thing I think is unambiguously good about this is I like the different way the scene is shot. Like when you see it the first time or the second time with Kylo's perspective and then Luke's perspective, where the first one Luke looks like demonic and is like really angry at Kylo, and then you see the second one and Luke's like expression is like more like worried and confused, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. Like you see the scary Luke Skywalker from Kylo's perspective, which is really cool. So yeah. Okay. I have a bunch of miscellaneous notes. Any other notes you want to talk about though?
Well, I haven't read a single one of my notes, but I'm sure I've gone over a lot of them. But okay, what's the first one here? Oh, I was confused at the plot at the beginning of this because I assumed that Phasma and the General dude blew up at the end of the Force Awakens. How'd they survive? Were they not there? What happened?
Well, General Hux was tasked with going and retrieving Kylo Ren by Snoke, so he would have got off. I don't know how Phasma got off. I don't know. She's like smart and stuff. She found a way. Who knows?
Well, that kind of happened with oh no, because Vader's in his ship at the end of the first one.
Yep.
Never mind. I was going to say that was like the first Star Wars movie. But anyway, I was like, did the General get exploded in the last one? Question mark, question mark. It was funny when he showed up because I don't know. I've only ever seen him in The Force Awakens and I've never heard anybody mention him in like other movies. So the fact that he was still around, I was like,
destroyed in this movie. My goodness.
What are they going to do with him? And he's still alive. So he's going to be in this ninth one. So it's like, well, I guess this character's a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Something does feel immediately off about the presentation and the vibe. We already talked about that. More bad modernist humor. Talked about that. The great BB-8.
Oh wait, wait a minute. Let me quickly go over my list of bad jokes here. Luke chucking the lightsaber over his shoulder. I didn't like it. Where are you from? Nowhere. Nobody's from nowhere. Jakku. Okay, that's pretty much nowhere. I don't like that. Not good.
Yeah, it was good until the last part.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I agree. When Rey's learning about the Force and she's like, "Oh my god, I feel it." It's like, "Yes, that's the Force." Yes. Oh my. No, it's not the Force. It like slaps his hand with a thing. I'm like,
"Oh, that one was okay." I didn't like that one.
Nope.
First of all, hold on, just for a sec. Oh no, I've lost my question in the middle of asking it.
God.
No, it was like 2 jokes ago. What was the 2 jokes?
Where are you from? Nowhere. Nobody's nowhere. Jakku. Luke chucking the lightsaber.
EliteAri, I remembered it.
Go ahead.
I hate whenever they say outer rim. It pisses me off. It annoys me for some reason. There we go.
That's such a shame. I like that term.
Our allies in the outer rim. We've got to just shut the fuck up. It annoys me.
Okay, one more joke here. I wonder which side you'll stand on. This is a bit of physical comedy here, where they're attacking Luke, and then he like brushes off his shoulder, like, "Oh, I didn't do any damage to me."
Oh, the brushing off the shoulder was the worst.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad you don't like that too. Okay, all right, go ahead. Next note.
Because it feels like they're trying to make him cool in that moment. But if he's cool, have him kill some ATSTs.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
It would have been cooler if he just stood there and like looked menacingly, but no.
He reflected the blast back at him and exploded them all. Oh, so cool, Lear. He's way stronger than
he's
been training for 30 years.
He puts his hand out and he just raises the AT-ATs slightly off the ground and then drops them down. Just to demonstrate his strength.
They're going all the way into the stratosphere, goddamn. This motherfucker's strong. Yeah. Oh, remember when the ship was shown underneath the water? That was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was cool.
Too bad nothing happened there. But, anyway, she looks down and it's there and it's just like, oh, that was epic, Leary. It was blue and stuff. I love water and blue. Remember the hole to hell? That was the craziest imagery I've ever seen.
That was cool, yeah.
But then she fell through it and it was just a little thingy. And there was just like a dead thingy in the water. Oh, at one point there was some big Leviathan creature swimming off the coast. That was crazy. That's scary. That's like my worst nightmare. Do you remember that shot?
Probably. I remember a bunch of shots with the ocean.
True.
But with the Rey cave stuff, I thought it was cool how it's a bit of a break from typical Star Wars narration where Star Wars storytelling where it's like Rey's narrating stuff to herself, but then you get the reveal later that it's like she's actually talking to Kylo Ren, and it's like, oh, that's like a weird thing Star Wars has never done before. Because in the cave scene, she's like, oh, I saw myself, and it was like a whole, it was a line that was leading to somewhere, but I don't know where, and it's like, well, what is going on in this scene? But anyway, she looks in the mirror, she's like, my parents, and then she sees herself, and it's like, oh my goodness, so deep.
Yeah, but it is kind of sad that whenever they do the cool, trippy stuff in Star Wars, it's always just you see yourself or something. Claim, do something cool.
Okay.
Like Luke, remember, he saw Dark Luth in the Vader mask.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead. Next note.
Remember when Naruto does this exact scene where he has to face a dark version of it? That was sick, Illyria. That was epic.
You want me to do a note?
Am I doing a note?
I mean, I can do a note if you want.
Carrie Fisher's voice change is crazy. So is Mark Hamill's. Crazy. We talked about that. Every day I breathe, I wish I could have seen the tossing the lightsaber unspoiled. True, EliteAri. I wish I could have a genuine reaction to that and see if I would have liked it or not liked it. But we'll never know because I would just saw it. I just sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for it.
Yep.
And it wasn't as dramatic. I thought the music was gonna like cut out and it was gonna like do a record scratch or something when he threw it, but he didn't. It was kind of just like serious. So anyway, Snoke, is that his name, EliteAri? What's his dumb name?
Snoke, like snake, but with an O.
Oh my god, Snoke. He be spitting like a YouTube commentator. Oh yeah, when they're like, you got beaten by a girl that had never held a lightsaber, and you're just a boy in a mask, and you're no Darth Vader.
Take that ridiculous thing off.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking lame. It's just that's some of that ha comedy, not some of that ironic comedy that we were talking about 2 hours ago. So why is Kylo Ren a bad guy? We kind of got that answer. He hesitated to kill his mummy. Oh, I was liking that. So the Republic is just gone now, and who are these oppressed people? Oh my god, the worst thing in this movie, EliteAri. The symbol of the rebellion lives in every heart, and when a little kid sees the dumb rebellion symbol at any time, it swells in him. Kill yourself now. And they kept saying the resistance, and it just sounded like the Hunger Games, EliteAri. It was so bad. Even the pink-haired woman, it was like literally looked like a Hunger Games character who's saying,
"Yes, that's true." Actually,
oh, it pisses me off.
We are the spark that will light the fire that will burn the First Order.
Kill yourself right now.
That line particularly happens a lot, and it feels very convoluted to me. Like, I don't know.
The spark that will light the flame that will lead to the luminous burn. Shut up.
Yep.
There is something where it's like, just keep the flame lit. That's like a theme in something. Is it something we talked about recently?
Oh, Doctor Who, of course, in that one episode. The Olympic torch thing.
It must be something. I don't know. There is like where it is lit, like you can literally just say keep the flame lit, and like people understand what that means. It's not Vinland Saga, right? What the? It's pissing me off, EliteAri. I can never place things. Or is it just like an internet meme? Like who's going to carry the boats or whatever? I don't know. Kylo Ren. Oh, the Republic and the oppressed. Like, who are these oppressed people that have been like living oppressed under the Republic? Wasn't Leia in charge of the galaxy for like 20 years? Why are there still slavery and shit? What's happening?
Because if you watch The Mandalorian, you see that the New Republic was very bad. They didn't try their best. They were undermanned, understaffed. They just couldn't do as well.
The Mandalorian isn't. I thought The Mandalorian was like 500 years in the past.
No, it takes place in the New Republic.
Because Luke Skywalker shows up, right? Oh, I remember now.
Yep.
That's retarded.
Why? What do you mean?
Why is the New Republic terrible? This is even worse than my destroying the legacy by killing the characters. Who's in charge? Is Leia in charge?
In The Mandalorian? I mean, we don't see Leia, but I mean, probably she's in charge somewhere. I mean, the Senate is still like, oh no, it's not Senate, sorry. The Republic is in control, so whoever's in charge of that. The people on Hosnian Prime, they get blown up in The Force Awakens, I guess.
This is all maddening and stupid.
Yep.
Oppressed people. Can you believe it? We don't see any of this because and my solution here is that because we don't want to look like the prequels by showing Coruscant or whatever, and how it's been like. Did the New Republic not have like an army that like was gonna kill the First Order when they first heard of them? How did they let them take over? We've already complained.
Yeah, it's a bit silly.
It's retarded. It's just so we can do the original trilogy thing again. Isn't that cute?
I don't know why.
Where did this?
It is weird, isn't it? Like it feels like the most boring story decision you could make. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this was similar, like, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know about similar, but it probably was like a very safe thing to do. Which they wanted to be safe after the prequels were not safe. Yeah.
But then The Last Jedi wasn't very safe.
I guess that's another talking point. The Last Jedi, I think it had like basically no reshoots, and everyone was very happy with Rian Johnson. Everyone loved him. I think Bob Iger was talking about how this is going to be.
I've seen the clips from the documentary about how Ryan's made a challenging movie here, but I think it's the best movie for this movie. True.
I think wait. Okay, I can't remember. It might be I don't remember about The Force Awakens, but it might be the only Star Wars movie without any like production issues behind the scenes. Like as in like in the sequel era, because I feel like every other one has like an issue with it. Like the director got replaced for the next one. Rogue One had a bunch of issues. Solo, the directors got replaced. Like, maybe, I don't remember if there's anything with The Force Awakens, though. Maybe that was also good.
It's because Disney is evil and they want to kill art, EliteAri, by having committees that will
Maybe.
undermine your vision. Just
No,
like
it's
that
all
one
it's
dude
all
in
that devil,
Ant-Man.
Kathleen Kennedy. My goodness, we haven't even got to that discourse.
True,
Well,
the
yeah.
great Kathleen. She's the reason why Rey is a woman.
Maybe.
Now, I have where did this girl get the trinket from? Don't worry, I figured it out. It was her sister, EliteAri. Now, also, so this dice that is from the Falcon, was I supposed to recognize this and be sawing out? Because I didn't recognize it at all.
I also didn't recognize it, but I knew it was the thing from Discourse that I just heard before, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like from the Falcon. I'll buy it, but I never saw
what's
it.
the Discourse?
Like people say, oh my god, it's like, oh my god, that's from the Falcon, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess if you say so. I've never seen it, but that's what the people say.
Crazy. Now that's just crazy. Master Skywalker, I hated it every time Rey said that. All I can think about is that little kid.
What are we going to do? It's great.
It's funny. Kill you, kid. Lamau. My next note here starts with Lamau. It so easily could have been pod racing on this planet. Oh, great point.
True.
Light and darkness thematic nonsense. Somehow we haven't talked about this. Rey and Kylo wearing their colors, etc. Good guys versus bad guys partner. Because that guy was saying partner all the time. And then he kept saying that there are no good guys and bad guys and that they're all getting weapons. What the thematic point here is supposed to be that, I don't know, EliteAri, we've never been able to figure out the Force's thematic point, but it's probably changed with every fucking...
I mean, it's probably just it's Yoda, what he said. Like, you just gotta try, be good, move on. Make mistakes, but pass on your mistakes. I don't know.
So, see, it would have been cool if Rey and Kylo Ren had to hold hands and be in love, and that's what put order into the galaxy.
Yes, we'll see. Maybe that can happen next movie.
It's not, EliteAri. They can't kiss now. And what if they were just in charge for the next movie, you know? And maybe Leia opposes them and they got to kill her because she's a dumb bitch. And, you know...
Maybe.
It would have been so cool if they were just in love. Now... See, prediction, EliteAri. So the great Kylo Ren is gonna like save her from Palpatine. Oh, it's just fucking Vader. I just realized I'm just doing Vader again. And then as he's dying, he's gonna say something nice to her, and we're gonna think, like Kylo Ren. In the end, he sure was okay. Lame.
Maybe.
Maybe if she kisses him as he dies, it'll be okay.
Okay,
but I guess like Luke, Rey. Shut up, EliteAri. Stop spoiling. No, he just revealed that they do kiss. That's why he said that, chat. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Now, but Rey has to become like a little hermit celibate, right? Afterwards, so she doesn't get any boyfriends. Lame.
Because she's a Jedi? What's the logic?
Yeah, like silly Luke doesn't have a wife. Where's Luke's wife?
True.
After he had his sister, he couldn't have anybody else, huh?
Maybe. That's how it seems.
He needed another sister. God damn, it should have been triplets. Then him and Han could have been happy, you know? Now, there's more theme stuff here we should probably talk about, but I don't want to, EliteAri. True. Yoda scene is great. It feels like smart Yoda that always knows. Books are gay. Always looking to the horizon. We already talked about all that. It is interesting that Finn is told by a cool character to not join either side. I did write this before he decided to join a side, and before that guy turned on him. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's like, oh, maybe Finn's like cowardice, and the fact that he never really asked to be in part of either of these groups could be like part of the thematic journey or something. But no, he's a rebel scum. There are a lot of cute shots. Some feel cool and Star Warsy, and some do not. Already talked about that. Lamau Rilo here, I have written down, isn't allowed to save Rey, but she's allowed to save him. Also, she Night King'd the red guy, EliteAri. She did Night King him.
Huh? Night King,
where she dropped the lightsaber and then caught it to cut it.
With the
like
Arya stuff. Yeah, true. You know what? You know what's so funny? When I was watching the scene again now, I know that there's like one of those I don't like. I couldn't remember if it was the Arya one or the Rey one, and I'm like, I don't like one of them. It ended up being the Rey one. I didn't like, but yeah, because the Rey one doesn't make sense to me like mechanically. It just like it just made no sense. I don't know. Yeah, but the Arya one makes sense, and I do like the Arya one a lot.
Arya. Yeah. What a great subversion that was, you know, showing Rian Johnson how it's done. Everybody loved that one, I think. Oh, it was funny because Rey was like nearly dying and she was like screaming. And I'm like, oh, Kylo's gonna come and save her. That's so cool. And then Kylo didn't save her, but then she got to save him later. And I was like, this
Mm,
is like literally the Mary Sue thing where he's not allowed to save her, but she's allowed to save
mm.
him. That was kind of funny, but I'm sure people have talked about that to death.
You know what?
Um,
I talked shit about that red people fight. I do have to say, Kylo Ren did have one sequence in that was cool, and he was like fighting four of them at once, and he was like doing all these swings and stuff. I was like, man, all right, Kylo Ren's pretty cool.
when they were all waiting their turn, you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. But that Kylo Ren's part in that scene was cool. We like Kylo Ren.
My
Ben
next one is about
Solo.
how warp speeding through things to destroy things is possible, question mark. You know, it just broke the whole Star Wars universe, but EliteAri
Mm,
doesn't care.
yep.
Kylo it got so good mad at the Falcon at the end. True, we love that.
Mm,
Uh, what's the pendant that Luke gave Leia? We're talking about the dice there, and lifting rocks is my final note. What a great, we love lifting rocks here,
yep. Okay. Well,
and
then I can go
that's
through
all
my
my
notes.
notes.
Number one. So we talked about that. We said this scene looked cool, which is when Ben and Rey are like sitting next to each other, and Luke like joins in and like and destroys the hut or whatever. Um,
True.
I think that's cool, but also it's really cool it's cool visual of seeing the two of them in there together. Like it's kind of shocking. It's like, oh my god, like they're both there.
Yeah.
But also from Luke's perspective, it's got to be like a nightmare to him. It's like, oh my god, this girl I'm training is like being turned by Ben, and oh my god, all my things are coming back and haunting me, and it's like kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, she went right to the dark side. She didn't even question
True.
it. Can you believe it?
Yep.
Why are they doing? There's no way Rey's going to be a bad guy in the end. I don't know if it's like a Palpatine. That well, obviously they weren't teasing that. That wasn't an idea yet, I guess. But the
Her parents are
why
no
were they
one.
like they did that with Luke too a lot, where they're like, oh, maybe he'll be the bad guy. It's like I guess maybe it's just to have Rey literally be Luke again. I don't know.
Speaking of
Stupid.
Luke, how long do you think Luke was away for? Like, how long did he go missing for? What do you think?
Well,
I don't have
after
an
the
answer
Kylo
here.
Ren thing, which is
Yeah.
like I don't know, is it a year? Is it like 3 weeks?
Yeah. Like to me,
Um,
there's like to me it feels like maybe like 5 to 7 years or something. However, Luke does say he calls R2 his old friend. And I'm like, to refer to R2 as like, oh, old friend, how I've missed you. It feels
True,
like
R2 was with him.
it's
when
been
the
like
thing
it's so long or
broke
something.
down. That's true.
Yeah.
That's funny. That is stupid.
Yeah, so I don't know. All right, next
Yeah,
up.
I have no idea.
I guess we kind of said this, but I love the red salt on Crate. It's really cool. Looks cool. Like you like
True.
brush it up and it like goes everywhere. What else? The build up of Luke going outside was cool. Like everyone looking at him is like kind of awesome too. It's like, oh my god, that's Luke Skywalker. He's like stepping outside, and C-3PO looks at him and
Could have
stuff.
been cool. It was
Yeah,
lame.
maybe.
Oh, he winked at C-3PO. That was cute.
Yeah, that was cute.
Master Luke.
This is a great line. Adam Driver's delivery of some of these lines is so good. But he's basically facing Luke and he's like, "Did you come back to say you forgive me, to save my soul?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is so great." And Luke's like, "No,"
I didn't understand that. I was like, why would he say he forgives him?
because that's the thing. That was a great line because it's like he expects that Luke is such a hero that he's gonna come and say that like he forgives him.
Oh,
Like
I
he's
thought
making
he was
fun
gonna
of the
say-
hero.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought that's so funny. I thought he was saying what I came to after thinking about it by being like, "What the fuck is he talking about here?" I didn't get any sense that this was supposed to be a meta moment at all. I thought he was saying that like, "Oh, are you coming to admit that everything you did was evil and that you forgive me for killing my dad because it's part of your actions because you
Oh, Jesus.
fucked
Okay.
up so much?" I was
Holy.
like, I thought it was just like an evil villain monologue moment about you
Mm.
better forgive me for everything because it's really your fault.
Yeah, okay,
Oh, man.
I can see that. That's interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, that's a
You're
very
definitely
different
right.
reading.
'Cause it fits with like everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's very funny.
That's great. I like that. You should make like a video essay like arguing that. I mean, like this is truly what Kylo Ren meant. No one understood besides me. That'd be great. People love that. Okay.
No one understood the Vinland Saga anime except for me, EliteAri, and how shit
That's
it
so
was.
true. I feel bad. Oh, I guess we've talked. If Kylo Ren feels lonely at the end of this movie, like, especially that scene where Rey is like connecting with him and she like shuts him out. I'm like, man, I feel bad here for him. That's like the feeling this movie left with me.
I didn't think about that at the moment, but now you said it twice. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, you're so true. You're
Thank
so
you, thank
truing
you.
right now.
And then I have a Rose thing I don't want to say because it's a spoiler. And then finally, Broom Boy. Oh my god, he's a Jedi. He has force powers. He's like kind of like summoning a broom at the end of
It's
this. And
so small though. He like barely makes it move to his hand.
yep, it's
I was like,
cool.
oh, because obviously I've heard about that scene. I know it was like the last scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And people are mad because it contradicts the metachlorian. Well, it might not even.
Wait, I
That kid
don't
might just have
know.
metachlorians or some shit.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be that anybody can be a Jedi. But hasn't it always been that anybody can be a Jedi? I don't know.
I mean, it's just meant to show that like Luke has inspired other people, right? It's like Luke is inspiring the next generation through his actions. It's like there is the legend of Luke Skywalker, and that legend is going to keep inspiring people even if
Wait,
he
what
didn't live
does
up
that
to it.
kid have to do with Luke? Isn't it because Finn and the girl saved him
No,
and gave him like the
well,
thing?
that's what like led them to kind of go down this path. But also the story that they're telling in that
Oh, because
scene
they're playing
is
the
like,
toys.
yeah, they're talking about Luke
Okay.
Skywalker and blah blah blah, and it's like, oh, look at this, Luke's inspired them. But yeah, obviously Finn and Jesus Christ, Finn and Rose are inspiring too. So yeah, that's all my notes on The Last Jedi.
So because he inspired them, it gave him force powers.
No, I think it's meant to show that like it's just a metaphorical thing, like a symbolic thing of like this. There are other people out there who
The
can be
legend of
inspired
Luke
by
Skywalker lives on in the
exactly.
Force because the
No,
Force
no.
is other. Okay.
I think it's meant to wait. Let me think. I think it's meant to be saying that like the legend of Luke
because Luke isn't gone; he's always in the Force because that's how
I
he
guess
Force projects with Obi-Wan and Yoda in the next movie.
yeah,
I get it.
maybe. Yeah, but more symbolically, it's like, man, Luke, look at him. Even after death, he's like inspiring people. I think that's just more the
I do not.
simple message.
I don't know if we even really talked about this, but his death was like I kind of think like I like the last shot of him looking at the horizon, but like him dying because he Force project. I guess he chose to die.
I mean,
Why?
the way I see it is that it's similar to what happened with Obi-Wan, where
I
Vader
guess
hit him, and it's like he like goes into
yes,
nothingness. So it
yes.
feels like the same thing, where it's like he's
Oh,
choosing in this moment to like go away.
that's
Yeah.
what I thought was happening when he and then it kind of did happen. Like at some point Kylo like cuts through him or something, or he like
Yes.
poses, and I was like, oh, he's just gonna let him like cut him, and he's gonna die like Obi-Wan or something.
Yep.
But then he did like fade out of his robes like Obi-Wan later. But also, like you can say, oh, he chose to die because Rey will be stronger without him or whatever.
Mm.
Because the part of it's like, well, it's still up in the, it's still up. The war hasn't been won yet. It's still up in the air who's going to win. So if you stuck around, it would probably help out a little bit, you fucking old man.
Yeah,
But it's
true.
like, oh, no, if I stick around, it will hinder Rey's growth, and Kylo Ren will surpass me in dispatch of Rey easily if she doesn't grow on her own or something.
Yep.
Because I can feel it in the Force, pretty cool.
Yep. They just reminded me of another great Snoke quote. We love Snoke. He's like, darkness rises and light to meet it. And he like puts his hands together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was another dumb Force thing of like, so there always has to be a bad guy if the good guy, like you should never kill the bad guy because a bad guy will come up anyway. And then it was like, oh, you have to be a balanced person, and therefore the light and the dark can live in you, and there only has to be one. Or I don't. Fuck the Force and all its thematic implications.
And I guess with that, is there any other predictions you want to make? Anything else? We've got 2 more movies, and then we're done.
I don't know. Let me Oh, well, Solo, I know literally nothing about. He's going to meet Lando Calrissian, and I'm sure he's going to win the thingy. I feel like I've seen a video making fun of all the unnecessary details they like explained in Solo. Maybe he'll meet Chewbacca for the first time, probably. How is C-3PO and R2-D2 going to be in this movie? We'll have to find out. Now, I know Darth Maul is also in it, and that's funny. Well, I guess we should just reiterate for anybody that doesn't understand. The next one will only have 2 in it. Oh my god, I clicked on Letterboxd and I saw that this fucking Solo movie was 132 minutes long, and I was like, how about I just fucking kill myself? Because my goodness, this fucking Last Jedi one was a struggle, and it was the most interesting movie of all time. So this fucking boring one that nobody likes, maybe it'll be my favorite Star Wars movie. EliteAri. Keep the hope alive.
Very possible. Yeah.
I saw it has 2 stars from you, EliteAri. And then episode 9.
That's funny. I feel like
Episode 9.
Go ahead.
Episode 9 is very confusing because I don't really know anything about it, but I do know some spoilers. But I also confused the spoilers with the Red Letter Media video they made before it came out where they predicted it, where they were like, oh, it's going to be about time travel. And I can't differentiate like which are spoilers and which are from that, which is kind of funny, I guess. I
Mm-hmm.
know obviously Palpatine is in it. I think EliteAri one time told me that like how Kyle. I think I asked you specifically how Kylo Ren like ended up or something, and I
Hmm.
feel like you had just said like, oh, he dies or something.
Oh wow.
I'm assuming Rey is gonna win in the end and not die. I know there's a kiss between two girls at the end after they win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm pretty sure Finn doesn't get with Rey. Now,
With Ray or
something I do.
wait?
Yes, with Rey.
Okay.
I'm about to talk about Rose. If you think I'm
Mm-hmm.
misspeaking, you little
Okay, go
pussy.
ahead. Yeah.
I I feel like because Alita is constantly doing this alluding to thing with Rose, and I think I remember a talking point being that they like Rose is not in the next one a lot because people really didn't like her in this. Because I know a lot of the next one is sort of an answer to the things people didn't like in this, which ended up just being a very generic movie that everybody seems to hate. Um, and bringing Palpatine back, Lamau. Um, what else do I know? I really don't know anything. I feel like I've heard that this Snoke is just like a one of 17 Palpatine clones or something. And he's like in the ruins of the Death Star on a planet, maybe? Or is that from that Red Letter Media video? Um,
Mm-hmm.
what else? Like I have no idea what Poe does in it. I have no idea how they handle the Carrie Fisher stuff, so that's gonna be interesting. Um, I feel like I've heard that Luke does do a Force Ghost thing at some point or something. I hope Han's there with him. That would be cool. Um, what other characters are there? I don't know if we see the little Yoda thing. Like, I have no confidence in it, like closing or tying up any loose ends or whatever that I'm curious about. So if that Yoda girl is never in another movie, that would totally be normal. Let me
Mm-hmm.
already say something. You scaring me?
I'm
Okay, there we
here.
go. The
I can also say I'm interested to watch this because I think this is the one I've watched the least. There's a lot of stuff in this I just don't remember. So I'm curious. Like every now and then I remember a scene from this movie and I'm like, man, that was a how long is this movie? There must be so many random scenes in this. Um
I do. It is long. I feel like, but I feel like you also told me that this one, the like Last Jedi, is the longest one. So.
it is. I think it is. Yeah. At least at the time it was. Um
Um, I don't know where General Huxtable ends up or who kills him. I don't
mhm.
know if Captain Phasma is coming back to fight Finn one more time. Um, I legitimately have no idea. I have no idea if Palpatine and Rey fight. I assume they do. I don't know how Kylo Ren is gonna. Like, I don't even remember the trailer for this movie. I know Palpatine laughed at the end and everybody got excited. Um,
Mhm.
but other than that, I don't remember anything. Like visuals from the movie, for whatever reason, I see Palpatine sitting in a chair with like little test tubes around him with Snokes in them. That's like the only image I have from
Interesting.
this movie in my head.
Mhm.
And the kiss at the end, I can see like they're in like the top left corner, and there's other people celebrating in front of them. Oh, I remember from the trailer because it wasn't in this movie, and I couldn't tell which one it is. Where C-3PO says, "This is where I say goodbye to my friends." But I feel like I also saw people say, "Well, he just came back like 40 minutes later, and that didn't matter." So I don't know.
Mhm. Interesting.
Anyway, I think that's the end of my recollections.
Amazing. Well, I look forward to it. I'm much less less forward to Solo. My goodness. But you know what? I'll watch it too. Um. Anyway, this has been this two of the sequels and one of the prequels, I guess. Kind of. Rogue One's kind of a prequel.
Solo is only here because we're doing Rogue One and we can't do the other one, and we
That
can't
is
just do
true.
one movie in a video.
Yep.
So,
And we're willing to
this
skip
the
the
plan
Clone Wars
wasn't.
movie, apparently. So that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's a shitty cartoon and doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's we were planning originally to just do the original trilogy, which is we never explained that at the beginning. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
at some point I DM'd Ari and I was like, "We're doing Rogue One, pussy," and he said, "Okay."
Yep. And here we are. We're almost there. But anyway, yes, thank
The
you.
best and the worst Star Wars movie. You know, my tweets didn't
So
lie.
far, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Wait, what did you give the prequels again?
True. All 3.5 stars, which I
Okay.
think The Last Jedi is now sitting at 3.5 too.
Well, look at
And
that.
so
All
is
right.
Rogue One.
That's great.
But I don't
And The
know
Great
which one's
Force
the worst
Awakens
one.
is
Who
the
knows?
best one so far. We'll see.
4.5,
Yep.
EliteAri. What a great movie. We love
Yep.
it.
Absolutely.
Rey
Okay.
is also the best Star Wars character. Remember it.
I do like Ray. Thanks for watching. See you next time.